their next drive.
Really good field position for Bluefield State. And, you know, they're going to have some confidence after taking advantage of that botched, well, the punt block and the botched return from Shaw to get into the end zone. So Big Blue confident offensively coming out.
1st and 10 at the 40. 7-0. Salino. Running play close to the 45. Mark it the 34 that time for Jason Pitts Jr., who's a running back, 5'9", 170, freshman out of Marietta, Georgia.
Good play on 1st down. Solid gain. You want to stay in these 2nd and manageable, 3rd and manageable situations if you're Bluefield State to stay on schedule offensively.
It's a 4-yard gain by Pitts. So it's 2nd and 6, and it will be 3rd down coming up. Pitts gets it again. Now for Pitts, these are his first carries of the season right here, right now.
And you know Pitts means business. No gloves, no wristbands, no tape, no nothing. Just out there naked playing football.
No kidding, yeah, you're right. It stands out. Tough customer. Well, he's churned out enough yardage to make it 3rd and 3. Salino is the Big Blue go 5 wide. Watch Lyles again, baby. Got a flag. False start. It'll be 3rd and 8.
That's something that Bluefield State cannot afford. Pre-snap penalties takes it from 3rd and 3 to 3rd and 8. That's a big difference offensively. Salino trying to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Get it into the hands of his playmakers. So far, Trey Lyles, a senior out of Carlisle, South Carolina, he's been getting it done for Bluefield State. This is going to make this 3rd down just that more difficult for Big Blue.
3rd and 8. Just over 5 minutes left here. Quarter 1 tied at 7. Shaw's homecoming Saturday. Salino with time checks it down. That's Mason who picks it up. He's a couple yards short, and it's 4th down.
Better pass from Salino. Mason was wide open in the middle of that Shaw defense. Been an easy 1st down, but not able to advance the ball after going to the ground for the catch. And it's 4th down, and Bluefield State's going to roll the dice. Why not? We're on the road. We're playing with house money. They feel like time for Shaw to come up with a big defensive play.
Mason had a 6-catch, 75-yard game on September the 7th, so he's had a lot of work this season. Shaw wants and gets a timeout. Head coach Adrian Jones on the hustle down there to get it called. Wants to talk things over before 4th and 3, D.
It's a big actually a big 4th down for Shaw defensively. If you can stop Bluefield State, you'll have excellent field position to start your drive. Bluefield State really taking a chance here on their side of the 50 on 4th down.
Flashback during this timeout to last Saturday in Salem, Virginia for this Bluefield State team. Salino went 8 of 15 for only 53 yards passing and an interception. Keelan Mills got a little bit of time, 2 completions, 6 attempts. He had to come in because Salino got hurt a bit. And there's also the other quarterback on this roster for Bluefield State is someone who really we haven't seen so far this season. That's Isaiah Teal. We've only really seen him for a handful of opportunities. He played against Emory and Henry on September the 14th, but Teal is someone that they like as well, but he's dealing with some injuries that have lingered from the summer too. So for now, it's Salino, and we're not going to see Salino. We're going to see special teams as Bluefield State has opted to punt.
That timeout changed the mind of Bluefield State and their head coach. Devon Morgan opts to punt that one. That's going to be a touchback, and Shaw's going to have possession. The Bears calling that timeout. Yeah, you use a timeout, but it forces your opponent to think about going forward on 4th and like, maybe we should just punt it and play defense. We were able to force a 3 and out on Shaw's first possession. Let's take our chances on defense and see where the chips fall.
So Dales, he had a much cleaner punt that time. Probably feels good about that. Shaw, after the touchback, 1st and 10 from the 25. Peters with Tinsley alongside. Peters, quick hitter to John Barnes. Barnes just past the 25. It'll be 2nd down.
Now, I think that's something that Shaw can exploit on Bluefield's defense. If Barnes breaks that tackle, there's nothing but green grass out there. You have your cornerbacks on an island. Shaw's going to look at that throughout the ball game and try to exploit it.
It was a gain of 6 for Barnes, who had 1 catch for 15 yards last Saturday against Virginia Union in Richmond. That was his lowest receiving totals of the season. Peters gives to Trayvon Tinsley, and Tinsley is history. That is a touchdown, the second huge breakaway play on this Saturday.
And on that particular play, partner, Bluefield State caught in a run blitz. Just the perfect call for that blitz. It was a 1 high safety from Bluefield State. Safety coming down on the blitz. Shaw blocks it up. Tinsley, untouched, gets past the initial line of scrimmage, and it's just a foot race from there, and you're not going to catch Tinsley.
74 yards, the touchdown, 13-7. So we've had a 92-yard kickoff return from Rutledge, 74 yards on the breakaway by Tinsley, who's one of the best in the CIAA in rushing yardage. Watch the extra point. There's trouble here. The hold wasn't the greatest. Bluefield State's all over this. Never had a chance for Turner to actually get his boot on it because the hold got disrupted, and it'll stay 13-7. So there we have 1 missing point early on.
And keep that extra point miss in the back of your mind throughout this ball game. If it becomes a close game late, we'll look back on that particular play. But let's go back to the replay. Bluefield State starts out in a 2 high safety, brings 1 safety in the box. Bad angle taken by the single high safety, Josh Johnson. Tinsley is off to the races, and with that speed, you're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Shaw U.
Tinsley has to feel good, Damien. He had 7 carries for just 28 yards last Saturday against Virginia Union. He's going bonkers here early on with that 74-yard score, as Tinsley's had quite the season already. That was another rushing touchdown for Tinsley, the sophomore from Charlotte, on the season. That's rushing touchdown number 2, and he's already pretty much at his 3rd 100-plus yard rushing game of the season. He's done it twice. In fact, he could have done it 3 times. He had 99 yards here at home against Catawba on September the 14th, but he rushed for 106 yards on 18 carries against Lincoln last time we were here on September 21st. 20 carries for 121 in the season in home opener against Elizabeth City State. So Trayvon Tinsley continues to be one of the big standout running backs in the CIAA here in 2024. 13-7 Shaw, just under 3:40 to go in this first quarter. Big blue return out to the 30-yard line as it's brought out by Jaden Allen, the senior from Covina, California.
Let's see if Bluefield State can answer that explosive play by Shaw. And the Bears can get that run game going early.
Yeah.
That's going to put a lot of pressure on Bluefield State defensively. We know what Christian Peters can do through the air so far this season, leading the conference in touchdown passes, 16. So Peters is very comfortable throwing the ball all over the field. The Bears can pound Bluefield State with that run game. Could be a long afternoon for Big Blue.
Could be, especially that Tinsley's already gotten the lather going on that last big touchdown run. 3:07 to go in this first quarter. Ball's at the 32-yard line. Waiting for the officials here to get everything set. And we'll see Bluefield State again here, trailing by just 6 after that extra point snafu for Shaw. What's interesting as well is when you look at some of the numbers coming in, this is in a sense, shouldn't be too unexpected for Shaw considering their CIAA numbers on the season. Just when it comes to rushing the football, more on that in a second. They're back to being a great running team, not like they ever left. 1st and 10, quick hitter as Salino goes out and connects with Zuriel Ebron, and that is a first down.
That's good blocking on the perimeter for Bluefield State. The spring Ebron, senior out of Charlotte, picks up a Bluefield State first down.
Gain of 11 that time. First attempt for the 43. Another look in a second. Maybe not. Keep it here. We're 2:41 to go in this first quarter. Picked up by Mason, the tight end. Mason close to the midfield line on the toss by Salino. That gets everything but 2 yards, so it's 2nd and 2 coming up with Bluefield State to the good inside Shaw territory by a yard. They'll have it at Shaw's 49.
A quick passing game so far from Bluefield State, giving Shaw problems defensively. Salino getting the ball out of his hands quickly to his playmakers, letting them navigate the defense, keeping them in 2nd and 3rd and manageables.
2nd and 2. Christian Salino has time, rolls, loops it, caught but out of bounds by Ebron. Now, for the moment, it's Mason down there calling that it was a catch. They're going to rule it a catch. Salino to Ebron, who just stayed in for a first down pickup on an impressive play.
That was an out and up by Ebron. Pretty good throw here by Salino. Let's see if he got that foot down.
Well, we do have replay.
Looked like on a replay.
Yeah. Davey, that's not even close.
I don't think that was close for Ebron to get that foot down.
It's a gain of 29. We haven't had a challenge yet. There's replay here. We have the tent. The Bluefield, here it comes. Okay. You have to look at this again if you're Shaw. And the entire coaching sideline has the arms extended like it's not a catch.
They're actually going to call this one delay a game on Bluefield State. But if you see this replay again, trying to see if Ebron got a foot down on the catch.
Great work in our truck, by the way.
Doesn't quite have possession yet. It's a bang-bang play. He's trying to get that left foot down. I think that's what the officials saw. Great effort by Ebron, but that play is going to stand, but the delay of game backs Bluefield State up 5 yards.
Thomas Thompson Jr. in coverage. Did everything but make that stop because it was really close. Ramon Brown with the carry to get back some of that penalty yardage. It'll still be 2nd and long, and we're under a minute to go in this first quarter.
There's Savion Gibbs, first time we've called his name, adding to his tackle for loss total on the season. Big-time playmaker. Black Mountain, North Carolina. Shouts out to everybody. Mountains trying to recover from Hurricane Helene.
Gibbs, 13 total tackles coming into this game, and I'm with you, Damian. Same thoughts. 1 yard gain by Brown. This is a quick check down from Salino. Everyone meets the receiver right there at the 10-yard line.
And Shaw's going to have to make some adjustments defensively. Salino is getting the ball out of his hands. They're playing that short passing game, just sitting down in the zone coverage for Shaw. You may have to go a little bit more man if you're Shaw here defensively to try to counteract what Bluefield State is doing on the offensive side of the ball.
That was Brown on the catch. Just his 3rd reception of the season. We use him out of the backfield to an efficient degree. That time it's 3rd and 1 as Brown gets 13 yards, but that is the end of quarter number 1. So plenty of intrigue. 13-7, Shaw leading Bluefield State after the first 15. We'll come back, 2nd quarter on the way when we return to Durham on this Saturday here on the CIAA Sports Network, the Shaw Bears Sports Network.
Welcome to Shaw University, a place where history is made, leaders emerge, and transformation begins. Founded in 1865, we were the first HBCU in the southern United States. Learn from dedicated professors and meet lifelong friends. You can take part in over 30 different academic and service organizations. Shaw University is the right place to grow, learn, and explore.
Pass, and Mills got it to Lee, who got enveloped. It's fourth down.
Not only does that play go nowhere, it loses yardage, not even allowing Bluefield State to think about going forward on fourth. They're going to send out the field goal unit.
Okay, this is Danny Dales. Dales from 32 yards out, gets it for 3 points. This is a 13-10 game, so the Big Blue back to within a field goal as Dales hits his 8th of the season and his 3rd from the 30 to 39-yard range.
If you're the coaching staff of Bluefield State, you got to be excited about what you've been able to do offensively. You come into the ball game only averaging 10 points a game. You already had your average early in the second quarter. You've been able to move the ball on Shaw defensively. Hang around, stay in this ball game, give yourself a chance to win it late.
Here's a look back at the big play so far. Really one of two big plays in this game. That was a Trayvon Tinsley 74-yard rushing touchdown that had put Shaw up 13-7 before that Dales field goal.
And Tinsley off to the races after he broke through that initial wave on Bluefield State's defense. Also a big kick return for a touchdown for Christian Rutledge, who's back once again for Bluefield State. Let's see if they keep the ball away from Rutledge on this kickoff for Bluefield State.
Yeah, Rutledge went 92 yards on his kickoff return back in the first quarter. So he's someone to avoid if possible. Braxton Van Scoy ready to kick off for the Big Blue. 13-10 game, 41 seconds into the second quarter. It'll bounce, taken in one-handed on the hop. A marginal gain here with Bluefield State still trying to knock the football out at the end. If nothing else, it didn't go to Rutledge that time. It went to Navarro Rory, who got pretty well handled.
So Rory, the beneficiary of Rutledge's kick return for a touchdown, wanted to kick it away from Rutledge. Rory had to catch it on the bounce, got as much as he could, but Shaw's going to have to go the length of the field here on this drive if they want to answer the points from Bluefield State.
It was Rory's first kickoff return of the season. He joins Rutledge, Gibson, and Wingate, Lyons, Smith, and also Felix. First and 10 from the 25. Gibb staying on his feet. Still going inside the 20-yard line. Another big play for Shaw.
Traquan Johnson, freshly into the ball game, gettingitdone.org. rumbling down the field for a huge pickup for Shaw U.
Johnson, who's becoming a star here in Durham. Ball at the 21-yard line, pretty much flips the field. Johnson gets it again. He had a nice Saturday in Richmond. This one for just a couple.
And coming into the ball game, Bluefield State giving up 170 yards on the ground. Gave up 199 on the ground last week to Johnson C. Smith. So Shaw feels like they can take advantage of that run defense of Bluefield State. As you saw on the replay, Traquan Johnson getting it done after a mega pickup.
Really on now 2 plays. Shaw is into the red zone. Peters will keep. Peters stumbling but staying on his feet. And Peters trying to hunt out that 15-yard line. He's down just short of it with a little extra after the play. Meanwhile, for Johnson, came in with 116 yards rushing on the season, had that big pickup. And he's really gotten Shaw down in this position to get points again.
Pretty good defense initially for Bluefield State. To limit Peters is going to be a short gain here. Injured player for Bluefield State coming off the field. Jalen Neal, freshman cornerback out of Buford, Georgia. You see Peters there trying to get as much as he can on that scramble.
Here's the thing, too, Damian, about Traquan Johnson. I know we talked about him first against Lincoln on September the 21st. That's not because he hadn't done anything before then. He didn't have the paperwork to be able to play. But as soon as we saw him against Lincoln on September the 21st, look at that one. 10 carries, 61 yards, a touchdown. Had a receiving score on 1 catch last Saturday at Union. Also carried it 12 yards for 55 yards. I know that Tinsley's been the talk, but Johnson is a good back to come in and spell him. And this is the kind of rushing attack for Shaw in which you don't really know. Well, you kind of know who it's going to be, but there's about 3-4 really big weapons in that rushing game.
You got a timeout on the field, partner. I think we missed the flag.
Yeah, I think so.
On that Peters carry. It's like it was a holding call on Shaw. That's going to back up the Bears. But speaking on Traquan Johnson, as soon as he became eligible, he's been able to produce for Shaw. And you mentioned that backfield for the Bears. You can give it to Tinsley. You can give it to Johnson. Rutledge has shown you what he can do on the kick return game. So Shaw has a plethora of running backs that can carry the load and pile up the yards.
You look at it in terms of total attempts on the season. Of course, we can't forget about Jerry Eaton. Came in with 18 carries for just under 100 yards. Of course, Peters, we saw him that time a play ago. Very mobile, 27 carries for just under 100 yards and 1 rushing touchdown the season. Of course, we know what Rutledge can do in the return game. We've already seen that. He also has 11 carries on the season for 71 yards. In total, 186 rushing attempts for Shaw coming into this game from a bevy of players, really. 10-plus players have accrued for all of those rushing attempts. If you don't know if it's going to be McCrary or Barnes or McLean or Fields, it's a dizzying list. It's second and long, 2nd and 17 from the 27 of Bluefield State in a 13-10 game. Shaw on top as we get just under 13 minutes left before halftime. Peters rolls, flips it to Johnson. That worked last Saturday. Johnson, a little screen here too. He's got blockers. He's down to the 10-yard line on a 17-yard pickup for Traquan Johnson.
And Johnson proving that he's a weapon out of the backfield. Sure hands for the sophomore out of St. Petersburg, Florida, picking up that first down, getting all the penalty yardage back and some for Shaw.
Johnson stays hot. They're going to keep him in here as well. First and goal from the 10. Peters finally gets some pressure. Rolls to his left. Incomplete.
Peters buying time. That would have been a tough catch there for Contreras Bracy. Couldn't complete the catch to the ground. Be second down for Shaw.
Yeah, Bracy, Damian, that would have been his 3rd catch of the season. 26 total yards coming in. The sophomore from Columbia South Carolina, who last had a catch against Lincoln here at home. Shaw 3 wideouts now, and the lone setback is Johnson. Second and goal rather from the 10. Peters turns around, gives it to Traquan Johnson. Flag. Johnson picking his way through inside the 5, but now he's got to address the penalty.
It would have been a first down run, but going to be holding on Shaw in the middle of that offensive line, going to back the Bears up 10 yards. Hadn't seen a bunch of John Barnes or a Sean Belcher target so far in this game. Belcher, all-time leading touchdown receptions for Shaw U, is a weapon on the outside for the Bears.
Yeah, Belcher, for those that are uninformed, 323 receiving yards coming in, 6 touchdowns. Of course, John Barnes with 5 touchdowns on the season. Belcher, who set that record against Catawba on September the 14th here at home under the lights when he became the receiving touchdown leader all time in Shaw Bears football history. Second and goal from the 20. So the goal down in distance is going backwards. Johnson still the back. Here's Peters. Flushed. Rolls. Peters still going. Christian Peters is going to walk in for the Shaw touchdown.
And there you see the athleticism of CP3 on full display. Feels the pressure immediately. Spins away from it. Man coverage on the back end for Bluefield State. All backs turn, and Peters just turns on the jets and flies into the end zone for a Bears score.
His second rushing touchdown of the season. The redshirt senior from Charlotte went to Butler, and that's a touchdown. 19-10. And Shaw will go for 2 to make up for that missing extra point.
Good thing for Shaw, they're able to overcome those penalties to get into the end zone.
Barnes in motion. 2-point conversion, good. Tyreek Hardison on the 2-point conversion. On the quick flip by Peters. 21-10. Shaw leads.
Big drive there for Shaw. Like I mentioned, being able to overcome multiple penalties on that drive, and it started with the run game, ended with the run game from CP3. Touchdown, Shaw Bears.
You know, for Peters, it's this great story that we've been following throughout the season. We know how mature that Peters has been, and he just continues to make strides. And I think really you can highlight it when you go back to earlier in the season when we actually had that chance to talk with Christian Peters, and he was, as we see another look at that 2-point conversion to Hardison, rather, you see it again.
They're giving Bluefield State just a little bit of their own medicine. Quick 5-yard stop route by Hardison to pick up that 2-point conversion. And Peters has mentioned it a couple times this season how he doesn't like to run.
Yeah.
But with you're athletic as he is, you have to take advantage of that, and felt the pressure immediately, spent around, got away from that initial rush, and with the backside of Bluefield State's defense playing man coverage, there was no one in between the end zone and Christian Peters, and that's a big-time Shaw U touchdown.
He credits Coach Manigo now at Virginia State for a lot of his development, especially. They used to have 5 a.m. film sessions, and that's really obviously paid off. Bluefield State return. Flag is down just short of the 25. Some pushing and shoving afterwards as well. Jaden Allen on the return. We've got to sort this out.
Usually when you see that flag on the field, it's going to be a block in the back on the return team. So that's going to back up Bluefield State to begin this drive. And now what will Big Blue do to answer? Had a pretty good drive put together on their last offensive possession, resulting in a field goal. But field goals are not going to win this ball game if you're Bluefield State, not the way that Shaw's offense has been humming since that initial 3 and out.
Yeah, last time that Bluefield State had it, they got that Danny Dale's field goal. They trailed by 11. Just over 11 minutes left before halftime. More on Peters later on. It's an interesting story, though, about his growth. It just continues to do this. He's only had really one misstep game so far this season, and that was really just because of how good the opponent was. Carry. Back to Brandon Jordan. Second down.
Bluefield State has found a lot of success so far in this ball game on a short pass game, just finding holes in Shaw's zone defense. Quick passes to Lyles from his wide receiver position. Quick passes to the tight end, Jordan Mason. See if Big Blue continues that as they spread Shaw out defensively.
Yeah, 5 wide now. 2nd and 8 from their own 12. Salino waits, gets the snap. Incomplete, looking for who you just mentioned, Damian, Trey Lyles.
A little bit different when you are running that offense against man coverage. If you're Bluefield State, I think that Shaw's made that adjustment like, hey, we're going to have to let them hang down and play man coverage in order to stop this quick passing game for Bluefield State.
3rd and 8. A lot of attrition last weekend anyway for Bluefield State. You have to feel for this Big Blue team because not only did the game get moved to Salem because of Hurricane Helene, but also, too, really there was some thoughts about actually just canceling the game, not even playing it. Davon Morgan, head coach, had a lot of stuff to deal with. The team wasn't exactly ready from a nutritional standpoint, didn't have power. For 48 hours, it was a tough weekend. Incomplete. Salino looking and can't connect with his intended target, Reginald Hairston, a freshman from Bluefield, and it's 4th down.
Better pass by Salino may have gave his wide receiver a chance, Reginald Hairston, but that man coverage coming out in a different look defensively. Sometimes I know a little bit about the game of football.
You said it over the break, and as soon as you made a point of it, sure enough, Shaw goes back that way defensively. And wouldn't you know it, forces a 3 and out. Here's Danny Dales, and who's back to return? It's Christian Rutledge. Dales making sure to keep this short of him and out of the way. Good field position coming up, plus territory here for Shaw when they get their next touch. Leading 21-10, feels like we're in the middle of a momentum shift here, D.
The Bears, they're able to put a drive together here and put points on the board. Going to really put Bluefield State behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
I mentioned defensively, Shaw making that adjustment, going to man coverage. Don't want to toot my own horn, partner, but I was offered a defensive coordinator spot at not really State University.
Are you serious?
Not really.
No, not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
But I know a little bit about football.
You know, I wouldn't put it past you. I was at least going to confirm it.
No. I don't need that stress in my life.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not even talking about stress. I mean stress.
It's college football coaching stress. Peters keeps. Peters goes deep. Incomplete. Just off the hands of Troy Smith, the tight end. You okay, D?
Yeah, Peters had 2 receivers open, had the tight end streaking down the sideline. Also had John Barnes on the post route.
Yeah.
If he so chose to let it go.
Peters keeps. Peters goes deep.
Opportunity there.
2nd and 10. Give. Tinsley. Tinsley flipped up at around the 37-yard line. A gain of about 6. He set up 3rd down.
Good run there by Tinsley to set up 3rd and short for Shaw. It's a big play defensively for Bluefield State. You get a stop here for Shaw to make a decision. Do we punt it, try to pin him deep, or do we go for it on 4th?
3rd down. 37. 3rd and 4. One in motion is Wingate. And Wingate had the chance. He was the motion man to get it off the mark, and it's 4th down.
And Wingate probably would have picked that one up. Good blocking on the outside. A better pass from Christian Peters, and he knows it. He wishes he could have that one back. Shaw's going to roll the dice here with an 11-point lead. You want to take advantage and keep that momentum going. You want to pick up this 4th down.
He kind of knew where it was going. 70, what did they say? 70% of first reads by that quarterback. That's where they're going to go. They go to that first read 70% of the time, and usually the motion man is the one to get it.
Bluefield State, be wary of Christian Peters and his legs.
Peters, you said it, D. Peters gets moving. That one just pulled in by Tinsley. Caught it with the very tips of his fingertips. We do have a flag down right where Tinsley finished his run after the catch.
Good catch out of the backfield. Tinsley.
Peters, you said it, D. Peters gets moving. That one just pulled in by Tinsley. Caught it.
Tough play right there for Justin Campbell. He's probably going to get called for targeting for Bluefield State, but Tinsley comes out of the spin. Campbell's running full speed. Sometimes you can't really stop yourself in that situation. Be interesting to see what this call is by the officials.
Yeah, it's been one of the predominant debates in football, especially college
I'm a defensive
football.
guy.
I know.
I'm thinking, hey, I'm going full speed. The offensive player is coming out of a spin.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a tackle. I don't know exactly where he's going to be. It's unfortunate if it is a targeting, but we'll see.
Yeah,
And that's tough.
officials have signaled it. Official comes over to Adrian Jones on the Shaw sideline, confirms it with him.
That's tough for Justin Campbell, the senior out of Buffalo, New York. One of the better defenders for Bluefield State. That's going to be a big blow for Big Blue.
Justin Campbell with 15 solo tackles on the season, 30 in total, 2.5 tackles for loss, 3 pass breakups.
But what do you do there?
I know.
If you're a defender, I mean, you're trying to make a play. Tinsley spins out of the initial tackle. He's going down off of the spin.
Yeah.
I mean, do you hold up? And what if Tinsley keeps his feet out of the spin and keeps running? So you're at a disadvantage defensively if you're Bluefield State. Unfortunate, but that's part of the game.
It goes back to that conversation, too, about this probably is taboo to say, is safety sometimes even overemphasized? Have we gotten almost too safe in football? Because you're on the razor's edge so often, whether it's a hit on a quarterback or targeting calls. I think safety is the number one priority, but sometimes overemphasizing it might cause some of these problems. That's not very popular to say, but
that's a situation for Bluefield State.
Yeah.
You get the trifecta of dejection.
yeah.
Shaw completes the 4th down pass. They pick up the 1st down. You lose a player, and then you add 15 yards on to the game, and the Bears are in business.
Yeah, business is right. 1st and 10 from the 12. Shaw up by 11, trying to take advantage of everything going their way right now. Johnson is the back. Barnes in motion. Peters gets a snap. Handoff, Traquan Johnson. He lost the football. It's a fumble. Now, if the Big Blue have recovered this, that'll make them feel better.
We'll see who has this at the bottom of the pile. Bluefield State seems to think that they have it.
I saw Andre Stewart try to leap in there and recover it, but no, Bluefield State has recovered.
That's a huge play
The
for
football.
Bluefield State. After all that transpired on 4th down, to get that ball away from Traquan Johnson and give it back to their offense gives life on the sideline for the kids out of West Virginia.
Might have been recovered by Teron Francis. We'll get a confirmation here shortly, but a big turn of events there on the turnover and a tough break for Traquan Johnson, who really hasn't put a foot sideways so far this season in limited work. Fumbles there, tough break.
You're staring 28 to 10 in your face.
No doubt.
And to be able to come up with that play defensively for Bluefield State is huge.
1st and 10 from the 11. And here's Aiden Lee. Lee works his way past the 10-yard line.
Let's see how Bluefield State counteracts the Shaw's change defensively. Looks like on that initial play, they're going to try to run Shaw out of that man coverage. If Bluefield State can't run the ball, it's going to be tough for them to move it offensively if Shaw stays in that man coverage.
Under 8.5 to go before halftime. No gain last time, 2nd and 10 on that play to Lee. Christian Solino gets it, fakes it to Lee. Solino hits his tight end again, Jordan Mason. The tackle's made by Shaw's Noah Gibson, third down.
And Noah Gibson right there in coverage makes the tackle. As soon as Jordan Mason catches the football, he's going to set up third and long here for Bluefield State.
We were talking about Savion Gibbs earlier in terms of defense for Shaw. Noah Gibson's one of those other big stars. 2 straight plays have gone nowhere for Bluefield State. 3rd and 10 from the 11. They're still at the 11-yard line. Salino, play fake. Salino under pressure. Somehow got away from it. He was dead to rights. And Salino now steps out at the 15-yard line. It will be 4th down, but that's as close as you get to being sacked and not being sacked.
All things considered, that's an outstanding play by Salino, quarterback for Bluefield State. That's a safety that you get away from. You don't pick up the first down, but not only do you not get sacked in the end zone, you give your punter more room to operate on the punt.
I tell you, Cuz, that's as close as Cuz will come. Talking about Jalen Banks.
I'm going to have a word with him.
I know you
at
are.
the next family reunion. I'm like, I really don't like that play, Cuzzo.
Danny Dales. It'll bounce inside the 20, and now Rutledge is going to put on the Jets. Rutledge, they're not messing around with him anymore. He gets tackled at the 35-yard line.
Risky play again for Christian Rutledge. Saves Shaw yards, but the risk reward, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Paid off for it on that play, but Bears able to withstand that turnover. It forces a punt from Bluefield State. Christian Peters and the offense are going to have to drive the length of the field here. We're about halfway through this first part of the second quarter.
Yeah. In a 21-10 game, Shaw has the advantage. They'll come back out now with the football. They'll mark it at the 36-yard line. Avon Tinsley, the running back, out there with Peters.
Let's see if Shaw continues to keep the ball on the ground. They try to air it out here. Sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Make the defense stop you before you change.
Toss to Tinsley. Tinsley gets the edge. Tinsley gets tackled just past the 45-yard line as he got tripped up by Josh Johnson, who saved probably a lot more for Tinsley, who's having a big Saturday. We're not even to halftime yet.
Good block on the outside there by John Barnes, able to spring Tinsley for a 9-yard pickup. Blocking by your wide receivers make good runs, great runs. So credit to John Barnes there on the outside.
Ball at the 46-yard line, 2nd and 1. Peters, who's the self-described old head on campus, and suddenly he's gotten a lot more responsibilities on his shoulder. He can also scramble with the best of them. Peters puts it up deep, incomplete, no flag, as he was looking for Tinsley, and well defended by Jaman McNeil.
Good defense there on the back end, not giving up on that play for Bluefield State, as Peters is always a threat when he scrambles, keeps his eyes downfield. Has some grass out there if he wanted to go ahead and run it and pick up the first down. Chose to go for the big play. The 3rd and short here. Bluefield State's going to have to buckle down defensively to try to get off the field.
You want Peters, too, to be more vocal. That's something he told us a couple of weeks back. He said early on he used to lead by action instead of moving people with my voice. And I really enjoyed that conversation we had with CP last month. Good kid. Peters keeps it. Christian Peters, past midfield, steps out at the 45 of Bluefield State, and that's a first down for Shaw.
Smart play there by Christian Peters. Saw the run blitz, knowing that if I give it to Tinsley, he's going to get blasted. We're not going to get this first down. Defender committed to Tinsley. Peters keeps it, scoots around the corner to pick up the first down.
Peters was held to just 3 carries for 12 yards last Saturday against Virginia Union. The feet are much more spry. He's got more room to run 1 week later. Does have a 75-yard rushing game on the season already. 1st and 10 from the 45. Give Goes to Traquan Johnson around the 42-yard line, pick up of about 3.
The Johnson submarine there. Both hands on the ball. It's Diego Bledsoe, Nolan Mieleb combining on the tackle for Bluefield State.
2nd and 8. Johnson the back. From the 43. Peters keeps. Rolls. Peters. Incomplete. Looking for Keyshawn Powell, the 6'2 tight end. And that's twice now in this quarter, Damian, that one tight end or the other, whether it was Troy Smith or Powell, have been open just a bit off the mark.
Yeah, Christian Peters there. He's got to get his shoulders squared. You complete that pass, that's a first down to Powell. Now it's going to bring up a 3rd and long for Shaw's Bluefield State. Trying to hang around in this game as we approach the halftime break. Remember, Shaw received the first half kick, so Bluefield State will get it to start the 3rd quarter.
That's it. 3rd and 8. Peters drops. Good pocket. Peters lasers it to Barnes inside the 30 and a first down for Shaw.
This time, Christian Peters shows you, hey, I could stay in the pocket, plant my feet, fire one into John Barnes. First down, Shaw U.
Yeah, he said he had bumps and bruises after that Albany State game, which, of course, was the highlight of the season so far for Shaw. Got that big win on the road. But even he said, I hadn't really been running that much in a while, but he does like to run, and he's got the skills, just doesn't need to do it every time. 1st and 10 from the 28. Give to Traquan Johnson. He likes to run, too. Johnson stays on his feet. Inside the 10, there's a flag down. Johnson on his search for the 5-yard line.
And the flag comes in late as Johnson is down near the 8-yard line, comes in late from the back judge. Let's see what this call is.
Has all the look of a possible hold on Shaw, but I don't know. Shaw's walking back.
The flag was later than me at the family cookout. I'm not sure what the call is. Oh, I'm going to get there late.
Yeah, I know.
Please believe it, please.
There's no food around here, so we got to get it somewhere.
Listen, even I can be on time.
Yeah, I know.
But I choose not to be.
It's a personal choice.
That's what I tell folks. I'm like,
I know.
I can be on time, but I choose not to be.
Trust me, you think I can say anything about it? You and I have
I'm coming into the stadium. You guys are like, hey, man, you're cutting it close, huh?
Who said that? Yeah. Who's that?
I'm not going to put their name.
I know.
Well, my response was, has the game started yet?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm on time.
I'm on time.
But I digress.
You're talking to the king of late or just don't show up at all, so I can't say anything. You and I have had that heart-to-heart this season. I'm doing better.
You are. I got to give you credit, partner.
I'm like Benji on Howard Stern's show. I'm trying not to be late all the time for attention.
I got to give you credit for that.
Thank you for that. First down and long here. We've got whistles.
Big run taken off the board for Traquan Johnson and Shaw. Still first down, but you're outside, right around the 30-yard line. Bears are going to have to do it all over. This is a case of time management right here for Shaw, too. 4:33 left in the second. Want to be able to massage this clock, put points on the board, not leave a lot of time for Bluefield State.
1st and 12 from the 30. Johnson's going to try it again, this time on the near side. This one looks clean. A little extra afterwards. Johnson close to the 20. Kind of got involved down there with Jalen Neal, and there was a little extra after.
Yeah, Neal and Johnson, some friendly wave saying, hey, how you doing on the sideline? Nothing to see here, folks.
Neal, 14 total tackles on the season coming in. Gosh, say something on air and it might come true. Or will it? Did we speak too soon? Gosh, talk about a tease. 2nd and 2. Give, Johnson.
And again, I don't know a lot about football, just a little, but I think the thought process, Shaw here is, hey, Let's run this clock down. Keep the drive going, pick up first downs, put points on the board, and not leave a lot of time for Bluefield State to respond.
Eric Lumpkin, one of those in on the tackle.
He's going to bring up a 3rd and short here. Bluefield State understanding, like, hey, do we crowd the box? Leave some one-on-ones on the outside if you do that. You know, on a third down and short here, could be a shot play for Sean Belcher. You see the safety creeping over, Marcus Young Jr., trying to give some help to that boundary corner.
Timeout Shaw for 3rd and 1. 3:01 to go before halftime. Lincoln and Morgan State are playing today. Winston-Salem State is in Richmond taking on Virginia Union. Johnson C. Smith and Virginia State are playing. Fayetteville State and Bowie State are in action as well. We'll have an update on those scores once we get to the second half. Again, Corey Hodges, Damian Banks, our entire team here with you on this Saturday. Jay Bell as well. Everyone that makes it possible here in Durham for the 4th home game of 2024. Shaw looks to bounce back following the loss to the Panthers of Virginia Union last Saturday, leading 21-10. 3:01 to go before halftime on homecoming Saturday as well.
Shaw, offensively, didn't let last week's letdown carry over to today. Got off to a slow start, 3 and out on the first drive, but that kick return for a touchdown by Rutledge provided the juice that the Bears needed. Offensively in this first half, Bears have been able to drive the ball consistently.
Short.
One loss for Shaw so far in conference play. The Bears, no room for error. They got to keep winning games and stacking.
Big 3-game road trip coming up.
Brutal road trip
coming
up.
Peters connects with Belcher, who spins his way in from 19 yards out in his 7th receiving touchdown of the season.
I hate it when I'm right. 3rd and short. You got to play that where if we don't get it, we'll just run it on 4th down. We take the play, we take a chance and throw it to Belcher. Picks up the first down, makes a couple of defenders miss with the spin move.
Yeah.
Walks into the end zone for a huge touchdown for Shaw, and that's a backbreaker for Bluefield State.
Yeah, just really highlights what the season has been for Belcher. Has been building to this over the last couple years. It's all come together this year for him.
Belcher saw some Ryan Williams highlights with the spin move.
Yeah, yeah. Turner gets the extra point, even though Xavier Jarman kind of ran into him, not on purpose, but kind of did it.
Ben Turner has been solid.
He has been.
In the kicking game.
Watch it again. We're going to see the touchdown again, David.
3rd and short. Just a quick hitch there by Belcher. He's a big receiver. Not going to be able to bring him down with an arm tackle. Splits the defenders with a spin move. Gets into the zone. They call him Agent Zero. I call him Manny Fresh.
Belcher, the 6'1" wideout from Janesville, North Carolina, went to Riverside High School. I remember talking with him earlier this season, you and I and everybody on the Zoom call. And he referenced that Elizabeth City State game, Damian. We all kind of, it's crazy now. We look back to that game. He's got 7 scores. He's lighting the CIAA on fire. He's just having this crazy season. But remember, there's 3 drops in the Elizabeth City State game that opened the season. Since second game, he locked in, made tough plays, and of course played even better against Albany State. But he and Christian Peters have that great relationship, staying in the same dorm room. They're on such a great wavelength, not only because they spend so much time working together on the field, but off the field too. That is a terrific connection.
They're definitely a partner, and we've been calling Shaw games now for a couple seasons, so of course we want to be unbiased. But if you are around a program for an extended period of time, you get to know the players and their tendencies, their strengths, their weaknesses. And one of the strengths of Belcher is his ability to catch passes in traffic, to catch tough passes. Yeah. And in that first game against Elizabeth City State, just uncharacteristically, several drop balls for Belcher. And on the next week's Zoom, he mentioned, hey, that'll never happen again. And since that point, Belcher has been playing out of his mind and has already broken the school's all-time touchdown receptions mark and is building on that record as he tacks on the score here to put the Bears up 28-10.
That return by Jaden Allen will mark this at the 28-yard line. And I go back to that joke, too, when Belcher got his cleats and he joked that he was going to sell them on Instagram and put them up. He was just fooling around, of course. He kept the cleats. It was kind of part of that little good-natured ribbing that he had with Peters. This one caught by Aiden Lee, just short of the 35 at the 34, so a pickup of 6, second down.
Now with Shaw up 28-10, I think Bluefield State offensively understands they're probably going to get out of that man coverage and get in that zone coverage. Almost a pick 6 there out of the hands of the defender. Eamon Tinsley wishes he could have that one back. That had 6 written all over it. Check that. That was Virgil Davis.
Virgil
Check
Davis.
that. Davis is going to be dreaming about that one.
Yeah, he almost had his moment. That one is caught on the slide by Trey Lyles, and that's enough for a first down. That's football right there, David. That close to a pick 6, next play picks up a first down.
I saw it last night in the UNLV game versus Syracuse. Linebacker drops a potential game-sealing interception. Next play, Syracuse scores a touchdown. They go to overtime and win it. And Virgil Davis caught that interception. It's 35-10 now. The band's playing on the next play. First down, pick up Trey Lyles. That's football.
That's football. Jaden Allen a moment ago was the intended target of his quarterback Salino as Bluefield State was rushing it up to beat the 2-minute timeout. We are now there, so 2 minutes to go here before halftime. It's an 18-point lead for Shaw. But again, seems like we've said this all season, with the exception of the Virginia Union game last Saturday in Richmond. It's sometimes there's extra points that Shaw has left out there. They're not hurting right now, but you just have to wonder how good things could be, even more so if everything would come together. We almost saw all of it come together against Lincoln a couple weeks back, but even in that game, there was about 2 missing touchdowns out there.
Yeah, definitely, partner. They're going to be ebbs and flows in football games, and it's how you overcome those mistakes, those adverse moments in the ball game, and Shaw's been able to overcome them in this game today. Several penalties that could have killed drives. Bears have been able to keep those drives alive. That fumbled the punt on a punt block initially that set up Lincoln's first score of the ball game. They've been able to overcome those. So I don't think a perfect game exists in football. You're going to make mistakes. It's how you overcome those mistakes.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yep. 2nd and 10. Flag. Possible free play here for Salino. Goes far side. Hits his target. Got to wait on the penalty flag, though, on the reception by Reginald Hairston.
That zone defense, Bluefield State has been able to pick it apart for Shaw. Shaw found success defensively when they went to man, but I can understand defensively if you don't want to go man late in the ball game and give up a big play. You want to make the defense earn it and drive down the field. But Bluefield State has shown you they'll sit down in that coverage and take their 7-8 yards per reception and matriculate down the field.
Yeah, little check downs from Salino. Both flags now finally getting retrieved, one near side and far side. Here's a first down on that catch by Hairston. Marked the football 4 yards to the good inside of Shaw territory. Put it at the 46 of Shaw with 1:53 to go. 2 timeouts left for Bluefield State, trailing by 18. Salino, he's got a clean pocket. Puts this one up. Incomplete, looking for Hairston, and it got broken up by Virgil Davis.
Good coverage on the back end by Shaw and Virgil Davis. Able to make a break on the ball. Oftentimes they're on those jump balls. The offensive player knows where the ball is going, but Davis did a good job getting his head turned around. Didn't contact the receiver to draw a flag and breaks up the play.
Davis already has one of Shaw's 6 interceptions this season. Timeout 1:43 to go before halftime. Back to Bluefield State and that unusual weekend. And I know we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but it's kind of interesting how that entire situation developed with Bluefield State set to play Johnson C. Smith. And, of course, then the game was moved to Salem in Virginia, which has been the site of the CIAA championship game for years. But Davon Morgan, head coach for Bluefield State, it was kind of one of those things to where when I saw it last week, I thought, well, that makes sense because of Hurricane Helene. They're going to move the game around, D. But then to hear Davon Morgan talk about it earlier this week on the Bluefield State coaches show, the inside sports show that they have, he said they even talked to the CIAA. They said we can play Sunday or Monday, but when the CIAA told him that, they said, talking about Morgan, said, look, we don't even have power. We're not going to have power on Sunday or Monday. And, of course, the CIAA doesn't have a 2-week period after the regular season where they could have made it up anyway. So they just had to play, and they went to Salem, and the score was a little bit of indicative of the trouble. Salino had to slide. There was a defender coming in hot, and that was Amon Tinsley. And now Salino is hurt, Damian.
And Salino sliding feet first. Tinsley lucky that he did not contact Salino. That really close.
Oh, yeah.
Could have been a targeting, but Salino now coming up hobbling. See the right leg is favoring that right leg. And that's the sliding leg. See again on this replay. He's already has a knee brace on that right knee. May have gotten his cleat caught up in the field on that slide. Salino's going to have to be helped off the field. That's a big blow for Bluefield State. Keelan Mills is going to have to come in relief for Salino.
Yeah, Mills, Damian, who had time and got some snaps last Saturday in Salem against Johnson C. Smith because Salino was hurt in that game for a little bit of it as well. And Davon Morgan calls Salino a warrior, the kind of guy you just have to peel him off the field. He doesn't want to come out of a game even when he's hurt. That time, of course, no option there. It wasn't like it was just a little bump. And for the moment, a concerning injury possibly. So now we will see Keelan Mills, that 6-foot freshman QB who's a freshman, and Morgan likes him. He said he's done some impressive things, just trying to get him to go where we want him to with the football. He's been a little bit off the mark sometimes in terms of who he looks at. There is no chance to go to that other quarterback. It's not like this is a 3 QB situation because you don't have your third string Isaiah Teal because of labrum surgery and a meniscus injury. Although Teal did play Damian at Emory and Henry, but they felt it was best to rest him last game against Johnson C. Smith. So this is pretty much going to be Mills or bust unless Salino comes back and it's a loose football. Mills is on it. That was almost disaster.
I mean, you're asking a lot of a guy to come off the bench cold, hadn't played.
Yeah.
Just tried to hand it off there on third down and try to pick up positive yardage, maybe try to catch Shaw sleeping defensively.
Yeah.
Almost disaster as Mills fumbles it, but able to recover. Now Shaw uses their timeout here as Bluefield State options to either try to punt it, pin Shaw deep, and if you go for it, you give Shaw really good field position with a lot of time left on the clock. And a timeout remaining. That will be a situation where that's a decision that the coaching staff has to make down 28-10. You're getting the ball back to start third quarter. It's like Bluefield State coming back with Salino out on the field. They're going to go for it here on fourth. Salino looked like he was being helped off after a bender the night before. Didn't look like he was going to be able to come back, but
yeah,
like you mentioned, his coach said he's a warrior.
You look like George Best in the 70s and the 80s.
And if I'm Shaw, I'm coming after him. I'm making him scramble.
Here it goes. Salino, incomplete.
Aiden Lee had a chance on that one. Been a lot of slips on the field for the wide receiver core for Bluefield State. That would have been a first down. Pretty good throw by Salino with defenders bearing down on him, but nevertheless, turnover on downs, and that's going to be really good starting field position. Shaw can try to put more points on the board before we reach the halftime break.
Well, here we go, D. You just said it. That only took 4 seconds off the clock. So Shaw has 1 minute and 3 seconds left. They're going to have this ball at the 42-yard line, 8 yards shy of midfield with the timeout left, 28-10. Maybe get 6, maybe set up Ben Turner. Tinsley, 100-plus yard rushing game going. Peters drops. Peters drops some more. Peters pedaling back as far as you can go and then throws it away.
There's going to be a hold there on Shaw as well. As Peters tried to scramble to his right. That's going to back up the Bears. You know that Bluefield State's going to be in his own defense. They don't want to give up anything over the top. So offensively, Shaw here, you could pick up first downs. Just give yourself a chance to get in field goal position. You got a pretty good field goal kicker in Ben Turner, but that 10-yard penalty to start the drive is going to really hurt. Not sure if Shaw's going to be aggressive going forward or just keep it on the ground and take it to the locker room.
Yeah, I can see that happening as well. Here's another look at that scramble by Peters.
Peters trying to get.
That was T.J. Mullix, Damian, who was right after him. Mullix just about had him there.
Well, Peters just trying to get out of the pocket to keep the play alive. Holding call there. Backs him up 10 yards.
1st and 20. Barnes dropped it. 49 seconds left. We're just scrubbing a couple seconds off the clock on this next Shaw possession.
And if you're Shaw here, no timeouts for Bluefield State. You keep it on the ground. They can't stop the clock and try to run most of the clock out before halftime. If you throw it, you got to punt it to Bluefield State. They don't waste any time. They'll give another chance to put a drive together. As you see the drop there from Barnes, and Barnes, a short-handed receiver, don't see that often from him.
We might actually have time for another possession in this late stages of the second quarter. Peters under the gun again. Peters guns it himself. Incomplete. Looking for Hardison, who had that 2-point conversion from earlier. It's 4th down. That took 6 seconds off the clock.
They actually have 3rd on the markers.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 3rd and long here. That pass on the mark. Just not able to be hauled in.
Yeah, the penalty yardage, that's right, D. Yeah, the penalty yardage made it 1st and 20, 2nd and 20, 3rd and 20, correct.
Tyreek Hardison had a chance, can't reel it in. And if you're Shaw here, keep it on the ground and run this clock out.
Oh, give to Tinsley, who dropped it and picked it back up. Tinsley around the 44. Not enough for that first down, about 9 yards shy of it. 4th down now officially.
I think Coach Jones and Shaw, you can't wait to get to the locker room here.
Watch
you
this.
See on the delayed handoff, Tinsley drops the football, has the wherewithal to pick it back up. That was a disastrous play waiting to happen. Gets as much as he can, but it's still 4th down, and Bears just running this clock down, taking it to the halftime break.
And Eric Lumpkin, who's probably eyes were huge on that one from behind. He's going to wind this clock all the way down, and we have hit halftime. It's a 28-10 lead for Shaw over Bluefield State. A long first half, almost an hour and a half on this first half, but Shaw leads by 18, doing it on the ground, through the air. Here's a look back, some of the highlights from the first half, including Christian Rutledge's 92-yard kickoff return.
After trailing 7-0 early, Rutledge on the ensuing kickoff gets the Bears on the board, bobbing, weaving, doing his thing. Last hurdle over the defender into the end zone to tie things up at 7. Shaw offensively took control of this game since that moment. Bears able to put up 28 points here in the first half. See the next possession, Trevon Tinsley off to the races on the inside handoff, and he won't be caught from behind. The Bears take the 13-7 lead after the botch snap on the extra point.
That was Tinsley's 74-yard run. You saw that Rutledge 93-yard kickoff return. We wanted to make the correction on that extra yard. And then, of course, Peters, that rushing touchdown.
That way you don't have any at Corey Hodges on
Right.
Twitter. You can't make any mistakes.
That's
you see
it.
Peters there on the touchdown run, and Christian Peters here on the touchdown pass to Ashawn Belcher. The Bears have the 28-10 halftime lead.
Okay, Shaw by 18. Time for halftime here in Durham. We'll take a break as well. We'll come back, give you some numbers, break things down before we start quarter number 3. Homecoming Saturday here in Durham. You can enjoy it. We'll stay here. 28-10 Shaw leading by 18 over Bluefield State. Peters quarterback rating of 133 and a half.
It's my pleasure to introduce to you the 2024-2025 Platinum Sound Marching Band.
Shaw University is the right place to grow, learn, and explore.
Surround yourself with opportunity at Shaw University in the heart of downtown Raleigh. Define your path to success through undergraduate, accelerated adult degree, teacher certification, and graduate programs. Your future begins today at Shaw University.
1-2. After further review, number 2, defense, Bluefield, has been disqualified from the contest for taunting.
Leaders emerge and transformation begins. Founded in 1865, we were the first HBCU in the southern United States. Learn from dedicated professors and meet lifelong friends. You can take part in over 30 different academic and service organizations. Shaw University is the right place to grow, learn, and explore.
Back now ready to go to begin half number 2. A 28-10 game. Shaw with the lead. Turner's kickoff fielded from the 6-yard line. That's 20 down, really at the 20. So about a 14-yard return for Jaden Allen as Bluefield State receives the second half kickoff. Corey Hodges, Damian Banks, and our team here with you. And D, you said it right before we came back on air. Bluefield State needs to score some points here on their first touch of the football in the second half, trailing by 18.
It doesn't have to be a touchdown, preferably a touchdown, but a field goal, any type of points, and put a drive together to keep yourselves in this ball game, to keep yourselves mentally engaged.
Reset game clock. 14:53.
Already down 18 points. You were able to move the ball
1-4,
pretty well there in
5-3.
that first half, especially in the first quarter. So if you're Bluefield State, you hang your hat on that, see what Shaw comes out with defensively. You've been able to take advantage of their zone coverage. If they come out in man defense, you got to make some adjustments. I'm sure they made that at halftime, but you want to put a drive together here that results in points.
Here on a day to honor those who have fought, currently are fighting breast cancer on this Saturday. So some nice pink accoutrements out there as well in the stands here at Durham County Memorial Stadium. First play for this opening drive of the second half is a run by Ramon Brown on the handoff by Christian Salino. Salino went out just briefly in that first half, Damian, but ultimately 14 of 23, 135 yards and a touchdown. Moments ago, that rush by Brown was his 10th of the game, and he's just over 10 yards now. In fact, he is right at 10 yards on that 1-yard gain by Ramon Brown. Ready on the snap for second down, and we've got whistles and a
timeout.
Early, and I do mean early
Shaw University.
Called by Shaw.
First call timeout
It was an
of the
injured
half.
player on the field defensively, and Mackey coming off the field late with the injury. Shaw not set on defense as the substitution was made, and Coach Jones didn't like what he saw and called the timeout.
Okay, so it'll be 2nd and 9 following this timeout.
Christian Lyons coming on the field late for Razon Mackey. Jones called that timeout, say, hey, this is, pretty big opening third quarter drive. We want to be able to get off the field, get the ball back to our offense, but I don't think we need the timeout. So up 18, we shouldn't need them late in the ball game. Let's get set and get the right personnel on the field.
Mackey, who had that big late game interception against Lincoln last home game, even though the game was pretty much out of reach by that point. It was kind of the exclamation mark in that game when Mackey had the pick six. 2 total tackles so far in this game. So here we go. 2nd and 9. The Big Blue, their 22-yard line, as we're just scratching the surface here of third quarter play this Saturday on the CIAA Sports Network. Nice to have everyone with us today. Salino. Quick out to Lyles, who's still going. Trey Lyles down just past the 25-yard line to flip the field. And the biggest offensive play of the game for Bluefield State belongs to their receiving leader, and that's Trey Lyles.
The Bears still in that man coverage. Had it played pretty well initially, but Lyles able to cut back across the grain and breaks a tackle or two. Huge chunk of yards there for Trey Lyles.
Welcome to Shaw University.
Here's another look on the replay as they do mark it. They'll put it at the 25.
Lyles, explosive offensively for Bluefield State.
Incomplete. Salino out there looking for Aiden Lee. It'll be second down after that huge play by Lyles.
Lee not on the same page. Christian Salino. Bluefield State already in field goal range. I mentioned you don't have to score a touchdown. That would be great, but getting points on this initial drive is key.
Lyles' 53-yard catch and run got Bluefield State down here in pretty good field position. Now Lyles gets it again, trying to kind of carve his way through some defenders. It will be third down.
Lyles proving to be a hard man. Trey Lyles, hard man to bring down for Bluefield State. He's going to come off the field here on third down.
Davon Morgan says he's still trying to get a lot of his players to get rid of bad habits. They talked about some of the Johnson C. Smith game and said, you know, we can't go out there and make plays for our players. He's a big fan of his coaching staff. You and I talked about that pregame. 3rd and 7. Salino. Incomplete.
I think that Bluefield State is trying to move Salino out that pocket. See, he has that knee braces off, has a knee sleeve on, that right knee now. Not very mobile, not accurate on that play, so they're going to bring out the field goal unit. Try to get Danny Dales to knock in his second of the ball game.
Okay, so Dales, here he is now for a 39-yard field goal. Hold. Dales. It's short and it missed to the left. Hold was good.
Dales didn't strike that one. You could hear it up here.
Yeah.
In the booth, didn't strike that one well. Kind of a low thud on the attempt, and Bears, after giving up that big play on the reception and yak yardage for Trey Lyles, get the stop on defense.
Now Dales, that was a little just outside of his top range this season in terms of what he's done kicking field goals, as he had a 44-yard make against Emory and Henry on September the 14th. That one was 5 yards less. The hold was good by Kuntz, but then Dales missed it. So Shaw has the football, 1st and 10th at 22, their first touch of the second half. Peters, delayed, now tosses it over to Tinsley.
Good
Doesn't
defense
get much.
there. Good defense there by Bluefield State, stringing Tinsley out. Still a solid gain on first down, 4 yards for Tinsley, and put my offensive coordinator hat on here.
Yeah.
If you're Shaw, I would run the football on this initial third quarter drive, take some time off the clock, wear down this defense, put points on the board, kind of take the life out of Bluefield State.
Kind of feels like we're getting to that point, up by 18. Start seeing how much run you can get from Tinsley, who's over 100 yards now, sitting at 110 with a touchdown, his third 100-plus yard rushing game of the season. Talking about Tinsley, he will get it again here. Third down coming up for Shaw. It'll be 3rd and short.
Third down quickly for Shaw, and Bluefield State trying to make a play on defense to get the ball back to their offense. Shaw again, that running game got going early in the first half with Tinsley, that long touchdown run, trying to pick up this third down here.
3rd and 2. Tinsley still the back, gets it again, and Tinsley meets a wall, and it's 4th down. Jaman McNeil, one of those in there to clog it up on Tinsley. 4th down.
That's a good stop on defense from Bluefield State. Shaw had the same mentality that I thought that they would have, try to come out and run the football, establish that line of scrimmage early, run clock, try to run the heart out of Bluefield State, but the Big Blue up to the challenge, forces a punt.
4th and 2, and that's Tinsley, who came in 14th in the nation in rushing yards in Division II college football, behind the likes of Jordan Jackson of Emory and Henry, and of course Jada Byers of Virginia Union came in 6th in the nation in rushing yards. Diego Coker Hernandez's punt will be deadened at the 39-yard line. And we will see Bluefield State back out with the offense following the Allen fair catch.
A low snap there to Coker Hernandez, able to get it off. Pretty good punt. A great field position to start this drive for Bluefield State. And in the same position as they were to start this third quarter. Still only down 18, not out of it completely. But points are needed for Big Blue.
And this is hearkening back to last weekend in Salem, Damian. Davon Morgan talked about it earlier in the week. What really was the big struggle against Johnson C. Smith, one of the struggles was that Bluefield State simply, they got into plus territory a couple times last Saturday, could not come away with points. This is Ramon Brown. Brown scurries past the 40, around the 42-yard line, so a gain of about 3. Second down, but that really was the issue. Of course, also, you got to combine that with the defense, and everyone knows Johnson C. Smith's been playing off to this crazy good start in 2024.
Yeah, Johnson C. Smith is a really good team now, and in order to beat them, you're going to have to play good football, and Bluefield State did not take advantage of their opportunities early there in the first quarter, and the game kind of got away from them. So now they're trying to take advantage of a big defensive stop, trying to get points on the board, and someone's going to have to make a big play here, much like Trey Lyles did on that last drive.
Brown. It'll be third down. Trying to find a lane there. Did Brown kind of dove under. Third down again here for Bluefield State. We talked about Johnson C. Smith's defense. Of course, it's the best in the CIAA by almost 300 yards, coming in, allowing just 318 yards on the season. The next best, 600 yards allowed by Winston-Salem State. Tells you how good the Golden Bulls are in terms of defense. Salino juggled and almost intercepted the second almost pick of this game. Quayon Hilliard had it in his hands and juggled it and just couldn't pull it in.
Yeah, Hilliard saw the end zone in front of him. Eyes got big, read the quarterback's eyes perfectly, stepped in front of the intended target.
Here it is again.
Bluefield State looking to get Jordan Mason involved, and Hilliard saw the play developing, did everything but catch that football as the Coastal Carolina transfer missed opportunity there. Good punt for Bluefield State to pin the Bears deep.
Little extra English trying to be applied to this football and the hands team down there for Bluefield State, out of the way of Belcher. Corey Woodard down there kind of waving it with his hands, trying to get it to move backwards even more. Here's this almost pick again. Watch Hilliard, number 25.
Quayon Hilliard sees the play developing.
Oh, my gosh.
Jumps in front of it.
Oh, my God.
Sees daylight and is disgusted with himself after dropping that interception. And sometimes on defense, there's a reason why guys play defense.
Yeah.
Hilliard's going to be thinking about that one tonight.
Wow. That's 2 almost picks in this game. 2 that really should have been there for Shaw. Something else to think about. We talked about never having a full, complete game. It's just those little plays that get away. So close. 1st and 10 from the 20. Shaw's got the ball back. Quick hitter out. And that's a completed pass from Peters. It's 2nd down coming up on the catch by Smith.
Troy Smith getting his first reception of the ball game. And you see now change at running back for Shaw as Traquan Johnson back in the ball game. Bears comfortably ahead, trying to put a drive together here to try to put this one away.
Peters under duress. Peters now turns it back upfield. Peters making something out of nothing. Still up, a hard hit, and Peters lost the helmet in the process as well. A late flag, and everybody paid for that.
This is football, ladies and gentlemen. Peters, Houdini out there, cutting across the field. swim move with the football, blasted. That's going to be a targeting on 22, who took the brunt of that hit. Josh Johnson, the senior cornerback out of Norfolk, he took the brunt of that one. That's helmet-to-helmet contact. Johnson's going to get called for targeting most likely. Johnson came into this ball game one of the top cornerbacks in the CIAA. He's probably going to have to take a seat. 3 pass breakups for Johnson on the season entering this ball game, and he's still on the field.
Yeah, Johnson, talk about adding insult to injury here. The insult first, targeting. We've already had that happen once in this game. Justin Campbell got ejected for it. We had it confirmed right before we started the third quarter from replay over halftime. And now Johnson, who is still down. This is the worst right here for him, D. We'll see how it happened.
Christian Peters just did a great job of getting away from the rush, trying to pick up as much as he can.
Oh, yeah, D. Yeah.
Peters initially contacted by Jamon McNeil. You saw Johnson flying in, and just the McNeil ping-ponging Peters into Johnson. Johnson going head first, and he's still on the field. Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, still down. He's been down for a lengthy amount of time now. Johnson, the senior from Norfolk, went to Norview High School. He's had tackles in every game so far this season. Had 1 solo tackle, 2 assists, and a pass breakup last Saturday in Salem against Johnson C. Smith. And all the concern now on Josh
You don't
Johnson.
want to speculate on injuries, but Johnson grabbed his helmet immediately after contact. So he's good to see him sitting up now. Let's see what the penalty is on the field. You see the flag still on the field. Johnson is being helped off by his teammates here.
Yeah, it's Reggie Troutman and Corey Woodard going to carry Johnson to the sideline.
Little Deion Warwick action there.
Yeah.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah.
Carrying
right.
Johnson off the field.
Yeah, it's your teammates, and it's been a tough season for Bluefield State so far. Some have it worse, but Bluefield State has struggled coming into this game, and I know we've talked about last weekend's game, and that was just kind of part of it. You mentioned some of their scoring struggles coming into this one. Of course, Bluefield State coming in looking for their first CIAA win of the season, 0-1 entering at a 1-3 mark overall. Of course, like any good coach, Damian, Davon Morgan says, look, if things go right here, right there, maybe we have a couple extra wins. Sure, that could have happened, but of course it hasn't yet for Bluefield State, so they're just trying to kind of continue to work their way around. But no doubt that was this issue here with Johnson is tough. This is kind of a highlighted moment, but you have to feel so much for the Big Blue last Saturday with everything that went on. And I know we touched on it. We'll touch on it again because it was the classic game in which Morgan didn't want to make excuses about it. He said that a couple times in his coach's show interview earlier in the week. But plain and simple, that was probably a game, looking back on it, not just because of the way it turned out with Johnson C. Smith getting a
personal foul with target. Defense, number 22. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. Number 22 is disqualified from the contest.
So obviously they announced everything we knew. Now we're going to watch how it happened one more time.
That's insult to injury for Johnson. As actually one of his teammates hit Christian Peters into Johnson as Johnson is coming in trying to make the tackle.
Is that Bledsoe? 33? No. No, yeah, it is.
Bledsoe not giving up on the play.
Yeah.
Knocks Peterson into Johnson. Both helmets fly.
We can.
That's going to be a first down for Shaw on the targeting. And Christian Peters does not have to come out of the ball game.
Correct.
By losing his helmet with the penalty, and Shaw's going to continue their drive.
Damian, that's 44 tackles that you don't have the rest of the game. That's 6 pass breakups. really two of the best defenders for Bluefield State are ejected from this game, Campbell and Johnson. Traquan Johnson just got tripped up in the backfield on a heady defensive play made by Bluefield State by Alex Davis, the free safety.
Redshirt senior Alex Davis out of Memphis, Tennessee. Blast through the line of scrimmage for a tackle for loss.
2nd and 12. About 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Remember, we'll check on the CIAA scoreboard shortly. Plenty of action going on today. 5 games in that 1 o'clock window. Chris Ferguson and everybody watching that from afar. Hey, Chris, I know you're watching the broadcast, and we always appreciate your support as well. So
Chris is going to stay up on all the D2.
He's my guy. He's my ultimate resource. Peters clicking his way through and able to find the target, Barnes. And Barnes is inside the 20. They'll rule him down as the football came out late, but he was already down, and this is going to be into the red zone for Shaw.
Yeah, John Barnes flashing free late as Peters thought about running it, saw Barnes on the post route, and Barnes knows what to do when he gets it. Ball comes out as Barnes hits the ground. First down, Shaw.
25-yard pickup. Here's Traquan Johnson. Johnson absorbing hits. Johnson reaches ahead, and he has a Shaw touchdown.
Johnson almost fumbled the ball. Gets it on the regather. Breaks multiple Bluefield State tackles. Keeps that left arm extended on the ground to propel him into the end zone. What a run, Traquan Johnson.
Johnson.
You see initially almost loses it. Gets it on the regather. Breaks 3 tackles. Runs over another one. Extends the ball. Touchdown. Shaw U.
Johnson has 87 yards and a touchdown, and he is the new guy on the scene. You talk about someone you would have liked to have starting from game 1. I guess better late than never for Johnson. He is having an impressive last couple of weeks. Ben Turner adds the extra point. It's 35-10 Shaw over Bluefield State with just under 7 to go in the third quarter.
University, a place where history is made, leaders emerge, and transformation begins. Founded in 1865, we were the first HBCU in the Southern United States. Learn from dedicated professors and meet lifelong friends. You can take part in over 30 different academic and service organizations. Shaw University is the right place to grow, learn, and explore.
Okay, we're back. 6:59 to go in the third. Corey Hodges, Damian Banks, the team here with you on this Saturday. Shaw clear now by 25. Traquan Johnson rushing touchdown. Look at Johnson, too. I know we talked about it. Had to get his paperwork cleared up. Once he did, he's been off to the races since then. Here's another look at that 19-yard touchdown run as Johnson got his way through and broke multiple tackles, and then the heady move to lead ahead to get it in. The 6-foot sophomore, but ever since he got on the field against Lincoln on September the 21st, D, he's had now 3 straight games of 50-plus yards rushing, and now he has 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. And talk about kind of found money with Johnson. Boy, it's good to see him.
Coach Jones and his coaching staff have definitely found a diamond in the rough with Traquan Johnson. Runs with power. Enough speed to break away from defenders. Shaw, two-headed monster in the backfield. Javon Tinsley, Traquan Johnson getting the job done on this Saturday afternoon in Durham.
There's that football fresh off the foot of Ben Turner out of the reach of Jordan in the end zone for a touchback. I know earlier we talked about Bluefield State and how it might be tough for a school like that to recruit, especially in West Virginia. It doesn't have the allure maybe of a WVU in that sense. Well, Adrian Jones talked about this for Shaw a couple weeks back, and even he said it's difficult for us to recruit. I wanted to get your thoughts on this because we haven't had a chance to bring it up this season as Bluefield State comes out to the 25-yard line trailing 35-10. But even he said, look, Johnson C. Smith, it's easy for them to recruit. They're in Charlotte. Everybody wants to be in Charlotte. But, of course, here in downtown Raleigh, that's where a lot of the recruits will go for Shaw, up here in Durham, and they take them to downtown Raleigh to kind of give them a chance to really see what this city is all about. Past the 30, now driven back. Do we have a flag or not? That's Jordan. No flag, and Jordan catch and run on the first play of this next drive. Here it is again. More on that thought in a moment. Here's the catch by Jordan.
Good initial play to start this drive, blocking out on the perimeter by your tight end that allows for yards after catch. Good block by Jordan Mason. Jordan picks up a big chunk of yardage on that first down for Bluefield State.
Yeah, he got 9 of it, D, so he's up to 17 yards in the game. Now Jordan gets it conventionally on the ground. He only needs a yard for the Bluefield State first down, and he gets that. But again, back to Jones. He said, on recruiting visits, we let the guys go downtown, hang with the football players, and he keeps it real with them. No bells and whistles here at Shaw.
That's his favorite thing to say.
I know it would.
Not a lot of bells and whistles.
I know it would appear to be that way this year, but yeah.
Well, Shaw is in a precarious situation because they don't have an on-campus field.
Right.
So, you drive to Durham to play your home games. Beautiful facility here at Durham County Memorial Stadium. So that's an obstacle for Shaw.
Yeah.
A private school in the CIAA, that's another obstacle for Shaw. So as Savion Gibbs gets into the backfield,
Oh, yeah.
that's going to be a flag in the backfield. Be interesting to see what this penalty is on the field. But Shaw, Coach Jones, like he said, he keeps it real. He lets the recruits know if you come here, you come in here to represent Shaw University, to represent your family, and to play for the love of the game. We don't have a lot of bells and whistles, but we do provide an opportunity for you to play high-level college football. And, sometimes you got to get lucky on recruits. You got to find diamonds in the rough, guys who have slipped through the cracks. And I think it's the same thing for Bluefield State. Not
Personal foul. Face
quote-unquote
mask.
desirable
Defense.
location.
Number 52. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's also a play. First down.
Who are overlooked. You got to find guys who are on, maybe their second or third chance. And you got to get lucky and develop some players along the way and try to build your program up and build up that recruiting cachet to where when you do go into these homes on the road, you can say, like, hey, you got an opportunity here to win. You got an opportunity to get yourself an education.
Absolutely. There was a face mask on Savion Gibbs, so as it is, and now more pressure here as the Bluefield State quarterback goes down. Shaw brought it with Dunlap to get to Salino. It's a sack.
And Shaw, after getting that penalty, Dunlap, Mackay that is, on the blitz. Salino not really mobile any longer since that knee situation early in the ball game is sacked for a huge loss.
Big loss, 2nd and 23 following the Dunlap sack. Salino checks it down. Here to Jordan. Jordan has blocking. Jordan cuts to the outside. Tackled inside the 40-yard line. Jordan bails out the Big Blue.
Perfect play call there by Bluefield State. Know that Shaw's going to be coming after Salino. Screen play called and just poor tackling defensively for Shaw on that particular possession as Jordan, the grad senior out of Los Angeles, picks up the first down for Bluefield State.
Yeah, he can catch and run with it. Receiver out of the backfield. Of course, he's a good runner as well. We've seen him put out there a couple times. Under 4 to play here in the third. Fresh set now at the 38-yard line for Bluefield State, trailing by 25. Salino, good catch here. Near side, hard hit to boot into the Shaw sideline. The catch and run by Jason Pitts Jr.
Noah Terry coming up, laying the lumber for a short game for Bluefield State. And this is what Bluefield State's been able to do. They've been able to drive the ball, get into good field position, missed opportunities, missed the field goal, went forward on a couple of fourth downs, and been stuck on that 10 points since the first half. They're right at their game average. If they want to try to come back in this ball game, they're going to have to score a touchdown on this drive.
Salino rolls, and that one's caught by Reginald Hairston. And that's the first down for the Big Blue. Just over 3 minutes to go in the third. 25-point game as Hardison pulls it in, or Hairston rather pulls it in for his second catch of the game. One gets set. First and 10 from the 26. Salino caught near side, go right back to Hairston. He's up to 3 catches now. He's grabbed the last 2.
That's something that Bluefield State was successful in doing in that first half, just sitting down in that zone defense for Shaw and finding holes in the defense and taking what they give you. And Salina now trying to complete this drive with a touchdown, and that will go a long way for the confidence for Bluefield State.
This is not really a make it or break it drive because of the score, but confidence possibly here for the Big Blues. 2nd and 4. Salino got time, flips it up and over, and it's caught by Pitts Jr. Shaw in the crowd there to latch onto him.
You can tell that Kevin Jones, ex-Virginia Tech running back, ex-Detroit Lion, is the associate head coach and works with the running backs for Bluefield State. They use their running backs out of the backfield quite often, as Jones did in his playing days. That's a first down pickup for Bluefield State as they matriculate down the field, getting into the red zone.
Yeah, Jones played for the Lions from 2004 to 2007, the Bears 08 to 09. First and 10, there is room ahead for Lyles. He's tackled just short of the 5-yard line. Set up 2nd down.
Trey Lyles can play for Bluefield State. And that just shows you, if you can play, they'll find you. And Lyles has been doing damage all afternoon long for Bluefield State.
Yeah. Big Blue trying to
Timeout.
here.
Shaw.
Shaw takes the timeout.
First call timeout of the half.
More to go here in the third and 35-10 game on the CIAA Sports Network, Shaw Bears Sports Network. Want to look at that check down to Pitts, or to Lyles rather.
Lyles catches it.
Welcome to Shaw University, a place where history is made, leaders emerge, and transformation begins.
Correction.
Founded in 1865, we were the first HBCU in the southern United States. Learn from dedicated professors and meet lifelong friends. You can take part in over 30 different academic and service organizations. Shaw University is the right place to grow, learn, and explore.
Here for homecoming and senior day, November 2nd, as the Bears host Livingston.
Well, I'll own it. I said homecoming earlier. It's not homecoming, obviously, David. I should have known that. November the 2nd.
Well, you should have known that it wasn't homecoming because you didn't smell
yeah, exactly.
the food as you approached the stadium.
Yeah.
Now, you got a couple tailgaters out here, pretty good crowd
Sure.
for Shaw, but homecoming is just a different type of situation.
2nd and 2 from the 7. That one incomplete with Salino looking for Lee. It'll be 3rd and 2.
You got to think that this is 4-down territory for Bluefield State if they don't pick up this first down here on 3rd. But Bluefield State's been able to move down the field on this drive. You got to keep your eye out for Trey Lyles, number 3 for Bluefield State, and definitely the tight end, Jordan Mason, number 87.
Jordan goes out. Under pressure, Salino, end zone shot, intercepted in the end zone by Noah Gibson. Gibson picked it. Finally, Shaw comes up with an INT.
Cardinal sin by a quarterback throwing the ball late over the middle. Salino thought he had a man flashing free towards the back of the end zone, but the veteran for Shaw, Salino, breaks the initial rush. Can't quite get enough on this pass as Noah Gibson steps in front of one for the INT in the red zone.
That's his second pick of the season, D. It's Shaw's seventh as a team, so props to Gibson. He is the pick leader right now for Shaw's defense. Had that first interception of the season here at home against Lincoln a couple weeks back. Quick hitter, and that is just too far past Belcher from Peters. Look at Peters kind of leaping on his back feet. He knew that he just about had a 90-yard touchdown with Belcher.
And Belcher had a step or two or three.
Oh.
Just can't hook up with him as Christian Peters leads him too far.
No kidding.
That was the knockout shot
Exactly.
attempt there for Shaw.
You said it. Knockout's exactly right. That would have done it right there. That would have busted the clock. 2nd and 10. Tinsley. Nothing. Got tackled in the backfield by Eric Lumpkin.
Eric Lumpkin, a junior out of Madison, Wisconsin, getting into the backfield for a tackle for loss, brings up a 3rd and long here for Shaw.
It's 3rd and 11 inside their 10. What a precarious position here. Tinsley remains the back. Barnes goes in motion. Only got half a minute left in the 3rd. Peters calls for it, gets it. Peters gets sacked. Couple in on it. Ultimately, Noah Wright was the biggest part of it. Comes in and gets the pressure on Peters. It's 4th down.
Defense from Bluefield State stepping up after the interception in the red zone to force a 3 and out for Shaw. And it's going to be a punt in the end zone for the Bears, and going to be good starting field position for Bluefield State regardless of what happens here as we head towards the 4th quarter.
Yeah, that's right. That's going to get us to the end of the 3rd. So the final 15 of regulation next, 35-10. Shaw leading this football game. 4th quarter on the other side when we come back. CIAA Sports Network, Shaw Bears Sports Network.
Welcome to Shaw University, a place where history is made, leaders emerge, and transformation begins. Founded in 1865, we were the first HBCU in the southern United States. Learn from dedicated professors and meet lifelong friends. You can take part in over 30 different academic and service organizations. Shaw University is the right place to grow, learn, and explore.
Surround yourself with opportunity at Shaw University in the heart of downtown Raleigh. Define your path to success through undergraduate, accelerated adult degree, teacher certification, and graduate programs. Your future begins today at Shaw University.
Jaden Allen back to return as Diego Coker Hernandez gets set to punt. The freshman punter, Woodbridge, Virginia. Allen ready now for his 2nd punt return of the afternoon. Coker Hernandez from the end zone got a flag.
That would have been a bad punt there for Coker Hernandez, but the penalty flag
False start.
is going to back up Shaw even more.
Offense.
Bluefield
Number
State
15.
was coming after that punt.
Half the
Coker
distance.
Hernandez trying to get it off quickly.
4th down.
Coker Hernandez, watch how far he has to walk back.
Please reset.
He's not quite
Game
on the
He
clock.
was almost
The 15.
on the end line, but got to be careful.
Reset. Game clock. 1500.
Fix the clock here too, just to make sure. And yeah, Coker
Thank you.
Hernandez not quite on the Dan Orlovsky line back there, but he's maybe 2 steps from it. Since we were talking about the Detroit Lions last quarter, why not? Coker Hernandez cleaner. Allen fields it from the 35. Allen cutting upfield. Allen is going to take this in for the Big Blue. And it's a touchdown, punt return touchdown with Shaw backed up. For the moment, Allen's TD stands, but we've got
There is a flag on the field, but Coco Hernandez just trying to get the punt off ahead of the Bluefield State rush. Allen showing off that speed. Let's see what the flag is. Officials still discussing things as catches it and scoots around that left side. And Jaden Allen, senior out of Covina, California, showing that West Coast speed. Still waiting on a call on the field with the penalty flag.
That was Allen's second punt return of the afternoon, and if everything holds up, it'll be a punt return touchdown from about 35 yards out.
Officials taking their time on making this call. This is a big call, and difference between a touchdown for Bluefield State and potentially having to bring your offense out on the field.
Yeah, what is the situation here? I mean, if it's not a touchdown, what is it?
Maybe a hold on the return. Not quite sure what the penalty is. The officials still trying to sort things out here. They're going over to head coach Devon Morgan, trying to explain it to him as well on the Bluefield State sideline.
Ban! Please stop playing. Ban! Thank you.
Crazy. Hey, sarcastic.
Doing the
Thank you.
kick. Personal foul. Kicking team. Face mask. That 15 penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick.
Yeah.
First down,
Bluefield State.
Bluefield.
Yeah, they got Derry Felix on the face mask.
Receiving
Kicking
team.
team, which of course was Shaw, so it will stand D. 35-16. Kicking. Where are the points?
Actually, I'm not quite maybe it's on the receiving team.
So no foul.
Face mask.
Number 34, Dak Puck, will be enforced from the end of the kick.
Okay, so
See, the officials took their sweet time making the call.
and they
the
still
call
didn't get
was,
it right.
well, I didn't want to say they want to get it right. It was confusing.
They did. They didn't get it right, yeah.
But we have to be diplomatic here, sir.
Yeah.
This is the CIAA Sports Network.
Maybe so.
We don't want to
but
belittle the officials. It's a hard job.
Maybe so, but a call's a call. You got to get it right. People get on me for making bad calls. Get on them. We were talking about officials last night during the high school game as well. There's a shortage of officials in high school football in North Carolina because the older officials want more money, and a lot of them can't get the money, so consequently there's a ref shortage. From what I get paid to do my job, I don't complain. I'm fired up. Take it or leave it.
Listen,
come at me.
Address all issues of this commentary at Corey Hodges.
REY, Hodges, Hodges. I'm a big boy. I can take it.
Now, that's a huge penalty. Take that touchdown off the board, and you're at the 50-yard line now. You're Bluefield State.
Yeah, and getting tripped up back there as well is Lyles. And well played defensively by Shaw. Second down.
That one could be one of the few remaining nails in the coffin for Bluefield State. Get that touchdown on the board. You may be thinking like, hey, we got a whole quarter left to try to make this thing interesting. And you take that touchdown off, you put them at the 45-yard line. You lose 4 yards on your first down play. Now your back's up against the wall.
Salino goes down. 2 get to him for Shaw. It's a combo sack that time with Banks and also D'Angelo Shepard coming in to rock Salino's world.
Cuzzo.
He made up for it.
Jalen Banks, you're invited back to the cookout, Cuzzo, on a big sack for Shaw. Something about those Banks boys, I'm trying to tell you.
I'm telling you, one up here, one down there.
We're not really cousins.
I know.
I mean, probably somewhere down the line. I mean,
it's just a joke, but it is. It's coincidence. Banks' world we're just living in.
Show you right.
Third and 23.
See what Bluefield State can do here offensively. If you're Shaw, nothing over your head.
Molino incomplete, Damian, to Allen.
That's got to be tough for Bluefield State. You go from a touchdown to punting it now from probably your own 30.
Yeah.
That's pretty much sums up how Bluefield State's season has gone so far this season. They're right there, make a lot of plays in a ball game, but those negative plays come back to bite you.
Yeah, and Dave Von Morgan had an interesting quote from earlier in the week. He said, in some games, not every game, certainly not Johnson C. Smith last Saturday, and probably not even this game today, but he says, look, sometimes it's not that the other team is better than us, we're just not executing. I'd beg to differ on these last two games, but there's certainly a lack of execution out there for sure. And around the 20-yard line, there's really nothing going here for Belcher as he gets wrangled up by Corey Woodard. And we'll see Shaw's offense back on the field. 13:06 to go, and they're up by 25 points.
A 25-point lead here in the fourth. Probably going to see a heavy dose of Johnson or Tinsley. A combination of both here. Shaw wants to wind down this fourth quarter and get out of here with a big-time home dubs in Harmony.
It'll be Shaw's third home win of the season if they can pick it up. Well on their way to doing so. First and 10 from the 20. Traquan Johnson is the back. Peters will give it to Johnson. Up ahead. Past the 25 and a bit more after. Johnson carry his 11th of the game. He's over 115 yards rushing. This is Johnson. I know he's only had a couple games, Damian. This is Johnson's breakout game.
And not only is it a breakout game, it shows other teams that, hey, if you key on Tinsley, they'll bring Johnson in, who's a bigger version. He can hurt you with his speed. He can hurt you with his power. It's a really good two-headed monster in the backfield for Shaw.
I agree. He picked up 7 last time, so Johnson picks up some more yardage. Gets a first down there at the 32-yard line. Just wind this clock a little over 12 minutes left this afternoon. We'll get you that score on Lincoln and Morgan State here shortly. We can tell you that Virginia Union is leading Winston-Salem State 31-13. That one's an incomplete pass. Peters looking right in the middle for a target. It's off the mark. Had his eye. It was incomplete, second down.
Surprising that Shaw put the ball in the air there.
Going to Powell that time.
Keyshawn Powell not able to come up with the grab.
Second and 10 from 32. Johnson switches to the left. Johnson takes it, no room there, tried to bounce it away. Big Blue.
Bluefield State not giving up defensively. They've made some mistakes on the defensive side, but also have gotten off the field several times versus Shaw, and trying to give their offense a chance here in the fourth quarter. Can't allow any more points if you're Bluefield State. Big third down here.
Yeah, you've hit the limit there in points. It's 3rd and 12. McNeil in there a moment ago to clog it up for Johnson. Now Johnson switches over to the right of Peters. Pass blocking situation for Johnson. Peters slings it. Belcher catches it. Belcher looking for extra yardage. Will come up about 4 or 5 yards short of the first down. Tackled near side around the 38. It's 4th down.
Belcher trying to fight for the first down, and you see Peters wanting to go for it.
Yeah.
But up 25 here, you punt this ball away. You make Bluefield State drive if they want to score points. Not only that, you'll make them run the clock if they want to score points. I know it's enticing to go for it.
Yeah, 4th and 4. So many situations now, we're all watching football, no matter the level. You'll see it come up on the screen, what the analytics tell you about Damian. 4th and 2. You know how it used to be 4th and 1? Okay, go. Now it's like 4th and 4. Go. What's the analytics
It could
say?
be 4th and 8 on your opponent's 30. You're
Right.
going for it in this day and age of football. So
Timeout. Shaw University. Third call, timeout. Final call, timeout.
Shaw's last timeout, which isn't really a concern, 25-point game here, but the Bears want to make sure they have everything accounted for. Now that we have a break, let's do this again. 31-13, Virginia Union leading Winston-Salem State in Richmond. Under 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter there. We will get a check-in on Lincoln and Morgan State in a second. It's still scoreless, although I have to check to see how up-to-date the score is. Johnson C. Smith at 5-0 hosting Virginia State. Scoreless midway through that first quarter. And a good one in Fayetteville right now as the Broncos trail Bowie State. A battle of 2-2 Fayetteville State and 1-3 Bowie State. Broncos and the Bulldogs, a 17-14 lead for Bowie State on another busy Saturday in CIAA play here on the 5th day of October 2024. So we'll get some updates on those with time remaining.
big-time football being played around the CIAA, jockeying for positions about midway through the season.
This gets a kick. It's a good one for Shaw inside the 20. They'll mark it more than likely at the 18. Allen never had a chance to get his hands on it, unlike last time on the Coker Hernandez punt. Bluefield State's playing some defense last time, trailing 35-10. They're coming out now with possession with 10:25 remaining.
Bluefield State here, you know they're going to have to throw this football if you're Shaw defensively. Nothing over the top. Shaw probably will sit back in that zone. Probably give up some yardage, but nothing deep as you make Bluefield State use clock.
1st and 10 from the 17. Salino gives to Pitts Jr. Hard hit down at the 25-yard line, gain of about 8, second down.
Pitts Jr. wrapping both arms around that football, running hard, gets blasted, but an 8-yard gain for the freshman.
Jason Pitts Jr., just his second carry of the game, dude. So a couple yards short, 2nd and 2. 25. Salino, pump fake. Salino kicks it upfield, picks up a first down on the far side, just past the sticks.
Salino didn't like what he saw down the field, holds on to that football and gets the first down, gets out of bounds. Smart play there by the quarterback.
It was. Had a bruise on his knee last Saturday in that Johnson C. Smith game. That's why Keelan Mills had to come in for a little bit of that game, but he's one of the toughest ones you'll find. Davon Morgan and Bluefield State loves him, how tough he is. Never wants to come out of the game. 1st and 10 from the 28. They're 28 for the big blue here. Pitts Jr. stays the back. All Shaw, under 10 to go. Salino rolls, finds Reginald Hairston again. And that's a first down.
And when you can give Salino time for Bluefield State, he's shown you that he can make good decisions in the pass game. It's another first down for Bluefield State.
Yeah, it's his 4th catch of the game. Now that's done. Lyles has 7 catches, 104 yards, but he's the second leading receiver in this game. Salino, he rolls again, and this time goes far side once again to Hairston. Gets some yardage there. 2nd down coming up.
Depends on how long this game is. Salino is approaching 50 pass attempts for Bluefield State.
You're right.
I don't know if that's the recipe for success for Bluefield State to have your quarterback throwing 40 passes in a ball game.
Salino, 5 wide. He's going to toss it again under duress. Incomplete to Lyles. A little bit of an extra stare at the end. Here comes the flag. Kind of felt that coming. There was a little extra look by Keyshawn Denham. That's why the penalty flags came in.
Yeah, Denham, good hit, no flag on Denham. Not sure if they're going to call him taunting or the Bluefield State player coming in, to his quarterback's defense. Maybe offsetting penalties here. 2 flags on the field.
Yeah, I can see that, D. You're right.
Personal foul. Unspoiling. Defense. Number 18. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. First down.
Bluefield State a first down, and Denham is probably not going to see the field for the rest of this ball game for sure. Sometimes you make a big play, you just walk away. You don't have to do all the theatrics.
Right.
Especially in the middle of the field when everyone can see you.
And Adrian Jones gave him that disappointed dad look when he came off the sideline. Nobody wants to be.
A disappointed dad look. That's a good
whether it's my dad or me
description.
Myself, any dad. Nobody
and as a senior, Denham, you got to know better than that.
I know.
As a veteran on this team.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. 1st and 10 from Shaw's 44. New life here for Bluefield State. Incomplete. Hairston rising up. Can't make the catch into the Shaw sideline. Defended by Lyons.
Pass just too tall for the 6'4" Hairston. He's a freshman out of Bluefield, West Virginia. These are the type of players that Coach Devon Morgan be able to work with in the future. You find a local kid, 6'4", playing the wideout position, and get him to stay in Bluefield, West Virginia. You can build your program on players like that.
Hairston's gotten a lot more run here in this second half. Salino, check to Mason, who hasn't been quite as busy as he was early on. He picks that up. That's a first down on Mason's catch, his 5th of the game.
And Mackey with a big hit. Mason able to hang on for a first down. But you mentioned Jordan Mason is having a field day there in the first quarter, especially on that first initial scoring drive for Bluefield State's cooled down significantly in this ball game.
First and 10 from the 33. Salino fires it. Incomplete. No flag. Lyles was double covered. Coverage by Lyons and Derry Felix.
The double covered is Trey Lyles. I think Shaw's learned their lesson on Mr. Lyles.
I think so.
Better to be safe than sorry. Lyles has been the big play threat all afternoon for Bluefield State. Doubled in the secondary. Ball falls harmlessly to the turf. And again, Bluefield State in a position where they have to throw the football. You don't have to throw it every down. You still can run it, keep the defense honest. But Shaw's defense know that Big Blue has to put the ball in the air.
Salino. Whoa, what a catch by Mason. Reached out with one hand, pulled it back to his body, and that's the most impressive catch we've seen today for the busy Mason. Impressive stuff. Not enough for a first down. Came up a yard short, but wow, look at this again.
Yeah, excellent catch here. And this is one of the staples of the passing game for Bluefield State. You've seen it all game long. Mason just out in the flats. Just a heck of a grab by big number 87.
3rd and 1. The 24. And now Mason, maybe a little hyped up, who moved first.
You mentioned it, partner. Mason still hype off that catch. It's a little bit of the happy feet.
Yep.
Be a false start on number 87.
False start. Offense, number 26. 5-yard penalty.
Not on
3rd
Mason.
down.
He called that on Allen. Interesting. You know, you talked about Salino getting close to 50 attempts passing. He's at 44 right now, my friend. And if you look at what's gone on so far this season for Salino, this is uncharted territory. He's had, at the max, 26 passing attempts this season. Obviously, you're in a passing game.
Yeah, this is out of necessity, though. But,
right.
you know, as a coaching staff, you're evaluating here, and, you have to throw the football. Can your quarterback stand up to the rigors of a game, having to throw 40-plus times? And Salino's had a pretty good game, all things considered. Did throw a red zone interception in the end zone. But other than that, Salino has battled all afternoon long.
He has. Pitts with that catch, his third of the game, tackled by Gibson. It is a first down, under 7 to go. Slow-moving game today, a lot of football. 1st and 10 from the 22. We're not complaining, but it is almost 4 o'clock. Feels later anyway, of course, with where we are in the calendar. Pitts is still the back. Christian Salino finds Hairston. Who else?
And Salino just rolls to his right. Hairston initially covered on the route. Just being patient, comes back to his quarterback ever so slightly. Creates a little bit of separation, and Salino flicks it to him.
Hairston, Dave,
picks up about 4 yards.
Gain of 3 that time for Harrison on his 6th catch of the game. He's at 43 yards receiving. 2nd and 7, under 6 minutes to go. Shaw trying to get to 4 and 2 on the season before the long road trip. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Salino connects with Mason, who absorbs a hard hit at the end. Picks up the first down. There it is again with Mackey looking at Mason too long.
Big hit by Mason as he comes out of that turn. I guess you can't look at guys after you hit them. It's a new day and age here in college football. They're going to get you for that taunting penalty. Now, I'm not in agreement with this one. Denham, I could see in the middle of the field, quarterback still on the ground. This one,
what don't you like here, Dave?
I mean, it's a big hit. I mean, a little wolf in there, but not too bad. This is football. You got to let the guys play sometimes. That's just my personal opinion.
And Mason, he's still down. I mean, that's a big guy, Mason, against Mackey, slender. It shows you how big of a hit it was.
And Mackey, he's
5'11", 190. That's Mason, 6'3", 225. He just put Mason on his back.
And clean hit with
Dead
the shoulder.
ball. Personal foul. Unsporting. Defense. Shaw, number 11. Half the distance from the spot to foul. First down.
All right.
And I don't think the coaching staff for Shaw going to be too upset with Mackey on that one. I mean, did chirp a little bit after the hit, but, sometimes as officials, this is a high-intensity sport. Guys are going to be hyped after making big plays. You got to let them celebrate just a bit.
Yeah, Mackey, he's given up 35 pounds to Mason. I know Jay Bell on the other side does some boxing broadcasts in Greensboro. Talk about that weight differential. 225 on 190. And Mackey, even though he got the unsportsmanlike call, he just put Mason on his back. So how about that? Benefits Big Blue. First and goal for the 4. Salino, that one caught, and that's a touchdown.
Bluefield State going over their season average in points as Christian Salino
Jaden Allen
fires one into Jaden Allen.
Yeah.
And again, aided by penalties on that drive, but these are moments in a game where if you're the coaching staff for Bluefield State, you look back at the film, and these are good film moments where you can look back and like, hey, okay, this is what we did on this drive that was successful. Let's try to duplicate that.
Yeah, speaking of looking back, I know we had the tail end of that replay. Might see it again. Here's the extra point now. Danny Dales, who just boots that one as high as you like. I mean, this thing clears to the back of the track playing surface. Dales has got a big foot. 35-17. Here's another look at the touchdown. Thanks, Truck.
Just a slant route here by Allen. Crosses the face of the defender, Derry Felix, sophomore out of Trenton, New Jersey, and Allen able to catch that touchdown pass on the 48th attempt from Christian Salino.
Yeah, it's his first receiving touchdown of the season. And you said it. Watch Salino trying to get to 50 passing attempts. 48 and counting. With 5:12 to go. Shaw will get the football back. Still no problem. Up 18. 35-17 game. Of course, the road looms for Shaw beginning next Saturday in Winston-Salem against the Rams, 1 o'clock kickoff. And then Johnson C. Smith on October the 19th in Charlotte, and then Fayetteville State on October the 26th in Fayetteville. So enjoy the rest of home here if you're Shaw, because the rest of October you are on the road. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago, Damian. That is going to be the ultimate test for Shaw. If they come out of that trip, maybe 2 wins, maybe 3 wins, they are in business before homecoming. It's going to put a lot of intrigue in early November for the first time in a long time for Shaw.
And the Bears just want to, take care of their business, take it one game at a time. You're going to have to win, though, on the road in league play if you're Shaw, if you want to ultimately get to where you want to be. And you mentioned tough road contest coming up for the Bears as, we're at the midway point of the football season.
Dales into the end zone, touchback. They wanted to get close there to Rutledge. A little extra afterwards there as well with Anthony Fisher down there. What is going on here? There's still McNeil and Fisher.
Not quite sure what all the commotion is, but with about 5:12 left in this ball game, let's hope that the officials can keep the players reeled in. You know that Shaw is probably going to keep the ball on the ground here on this drive. Try to run this clock out and get this win.
First and 10, 25. Give Tinsley. Trayvon Tinsley. Down just past the 35-yard line. Maybe more after this.
You see the defenders trying to punch the ball out for Bluefield State. See Jamon McNeil on the replay here just punching away at that ball, trying to get it out from Tinsley. You see at the end, number 11, a couple of good swings at the ball, not trying to hit the Tinsley, trying to knock the ball out.
4.5 to play. It was a pickup of 11 for Tinsley. Middle again, this time for Christian Rutledge, who had the 93-yard kickoff return back in the first half. Rutledge gets to turn his first rush of the afternoon.
When you got 2 backs over 100 yards like Shaw does, and Tinsley and Johnson, you're having a good day on the ground. Bears hadn't needed Christian Peters to be CP3 today, put it in the trusted hands of their run game. And it's paid dividends.
Rutledge again on the handoff by Peters. Wrangled down by Alex Davis, and a flag after this one.
Davis may be called for personal foul taunting here as he slings Rutledge down.
Yeah. That has to be just to even things out here.
I think it's a little bit of get back by the officials.
I think so. I'm in their heads today. Come on, call it. We officially reached that part of the game where there's some improv here. 3:44 to go.
Yeah, Alex Davis slinging Rutledge to the ground, Christian Rutledge, but it was the flex afterwards that may have warranted this penalty here as the officials still talking things over.
And how much could you possibly talk about here? I mean,
That's at Corey Hodges, ladies and gentlemen.
That's not a slide at all. That's a layman's perspective about the play. Anyone would ask, what could you possibly still be discussing? And again, I'm not being intentionally heated and venomous towards the officials.
Venomous,
Simply,
okay, cool.
And I'm not trying to have a deleterious effect on the
Deleterious.
officials.
Personal
You
foul.
want to question my
Defense.
intelligence.
Number 98, face mask. 15-yard penalty enforced from the spot of the foul.
Okay.
So that penalty was not on
No,
a taunting penalty on Alex Davis.
they gave it on Noah Wright, Damian.
Face mask penalty to tack on more yardage for Shaw.
That's surprising. I would have thought that it would have been from Davis. Instead, it was about 80 numbers up the chart on Noah Wright. Okay, so maybe there was a reason to talk about it. Stand corrected. That's okay.
That run defense for Bluefield State has left room for improvement all season long. And as we stand now, Big Blues giving up 259 yards on the ground so far in this ball game, giving up about 170 on the season. So Shaw's exceeded that, and that's pretty much how the Bears have been able to control this ball game.
Rutledge stopped by a couple, including Piero Cortez on that last carry. We have just 3 minutes left to go. Here's the other question I'll pose to you, Damian, before we're
New
finally
quarterback alert as well for Shaw.
out. Yeah.
Navion Hilliard
Yeah.
making his appearance.
Okay, good eyes. And then I got to ask you a question. Hilliard rolls, fires it just out of the reach. Second down.
You got to get I know what you're thinking. Guys are up 35-17. There's 2 minutes left. You got to get your backup, Navion Hilliard, who's one play away from playing. You got to get him some game reps in situations where he's not just handing the ball off. So you roll him out, try to get him to connect on a corner route just out of the reach of Belcher. Big third down here for Hilliard as he's trying to get live game action reps.
3rd and 8. He got some of this opportunity towards the end of the Lincoln game as well. Shaw in a position this year a couple times here at home against Lincoln 2 weeks ago and now today to where Hilliard can get some late game snaps. Rutledge goes nowhere, and he gets spun down by Diego Bledsoe. 4th down.
And that's going to take some of that rushing yardage off for Shaw. And prior to that run was at 272 for the ball game on the ground. That's going to force a Bears punt.
Hey, credit, too, to Antoine Lynch, who put out the call on X yesterday. We need a stat keeper. Whoever in there is running the stats today. And also, we have yardage on the scoreboard for the marker on the field. Thank goodness. Thank you so much, everyone, making that possible today. It's made this broadcast innumerably better. We appreciate that help.
Shouts out to Antoine Lynch,
Yeah.
Shaw SID. Son is celebrating his first birthday today as well.
It's great.
But they got your boy working on his anniversary, on his wedding anniversary.
This is a 2-minute
Get
timeout.
out of here, and I know what you're doing. Or my
What am I? Oh, my anniversary?
Yeah.
Hey, man, like this is a PG show, man.
Damien.
Sir.
I'm not talking about
Oh,
that.
okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, this is a kids-friendly broadcast, sir.
Oh my God.
Shouts out to the wife, LaShawn Banks, 11 years strong. And I'm glad I'm not in the dating pool anymore. You know my wife's favorite restaurant, Olive Garden? So if I was dating now, like she would,
You'd be going to Capitol Grill.
you can't take them
You'd be
to.
going to Capitol Grill.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
know
sir.
that move. Yeah.
She loves Olive Garden.
Yeah,
Good for me.
yeah, that's perfect. Oh,
Good for your boy.
Too much fun. Minute 56 to go. We should let you know that if you've enjoyed this, and we hope that you have, you can be back with us in a couple weeks. And we've got some time off.
They're going to be the last home game,
Livingstone.
homecoming and senior day all rolled up in one
Yeah,
for Shaw.
November 2nd.
Bear on bear action.
That's right.
And I just got a text message from super producer Jay Bell. We talking about restaurants. My wife, her favorite restaurant is Olive Garden.
Yeah.
And Jay said, Waffle House is like right up there, top tier
Hey.
restaurants.
Oh, yeah, I see it now from it. Well, if it's good enough for Kirk Cousins, then it's good enough for anybody. Salino steps through. Salino. Got a runway here. Everybody kind of staying away under 2 minutes to go.
Christian Salino still able to scramble with that right knee, picking up big yards for Bluefield State. And these are all plays that are, film session plays where like, hey, okay, you made the right decision here.
Yeah.
Nothing downfield. You're not forcing anything. You take what the defense gives you. Use your athleticism to pick up a first down.
He did just that. But at the 45-yard line, minute 47 to go. So what else the Big Blue have here over the final minute 47? Salino, deep shot, intercepted by Avon Tinsley. That's pick number 2 today. Shaw really should have 4 picks. They've got 2. Tinsley with the most recent. That'll put the cap on this game.
And I just praised you, Christian Salino, for not taking chances, making risky plays here. You wanted to try to take the lid off the defense. Thought you had Lyles on a go route, but Eamon Tinsley defending. Actually, that's not Lyles on the go route. That's number 19, Reginald Hairston. But Shaw had the perfect defense called for that play. So Eamon Tinsley comes over the top for the easy interception, and the Bears take over on offense.
Noah Gibson got his second pick of the season earlier. Tinsley gets his first interception of the season. 2 takeaways today in the air for the junior from Savannah, Georgia. Minute 40 to go. A bit more run time here for Hilliard. Give it to Christian Rutledge. Rutledge with a blocker past the 35-yard line as we get towards the finish line.
The Bears run this clock out here in the fourth quarter to get back to their winning ways. What do you need to do if you're head coach Adrian Jones? This road stretch is going to tell everything for the remainder of this season. You're at Winston, who's been playing well. Then you're at Johnson C. Smith. Both those teams scheduled you for homecoming. So, you got to feel a certain way about that if you're Shaw. Those 2 games before you go to Fayetteville State. So Shaw's going to get to where they want to be. They're going to have to earn it on the road. 3 tough games. But they'll take this win here at home today over Bluefield State.
Neil McCrary gets the rush. There's since it's almost basketball season, about a 8-second difference between the overall game clock and the play clock.
Getting ready for basketball season.
Yeah,
huh?
I need to find some basketball. That's another story.
Well, you're on the CIAA network. I'm sure that anyone who needs excellent play-by-play.
Thank you, David. Help me out.
At Corey Hodges.
Yes, help me out. Come on, somebody out there. McCrary meets a crowd, and final play of this game, T.J. Mullocks in there to wrap it up, but that will end this game.
And I won't even comment on that, Jay Bell. Jay got jokes.
4-2, Shaw. 2-1 in the CIAA. 3-1 here in Durham. 35-17 final.
The Bears got off to a shaky start there, going down 7-0. Found their footing, and their footing was the ground game. Combination of Traquan Johnson, Trayvon Tinsley, getting it done on the ground. Bears racking up over 260 yards on the ground. Get that big-time home dubs in Harmony, 35-17 over the visiting Bluefield State Big Blue.
Johnson C. Smith won today. Virginia Union able to get a win today. Shaw gets a win today. It's a busy Saturday in the CIAA. So again, we're back on November the 2nd against Livingstone. That's homecoming. So the long 3-game road trip coming up for Shaw, but they'll certainly get out of here with good vibes for sure. Meanwhile, for Bluefield State, they have a road trip of their own. It will continue. They're just starting this 3-game road trip. They're at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania next Saturday, and then at Bowie State in Maryland on October the 19th. So again, big day on the ground, as Damian mentioned. Shaw puts up 35 points. He gets the big win. Peters, 8 of 18, 128 yards and a touchdown. Barnes, 3 catches, 66. Belcher, 2 catches, 27 and a touchdown. Rushing scores from Tinsley, Johnson, Peters, and a couple of interceptions in there as well for Shaw defensively, which was nice to see from Gibson and Tinsley. So defense combining with offense to get Shaw the big win today. That's it for our entire team. I want to thank Antoine Lynch, of course, getting everything set, ready to go, and also everyone here at Durham County Memorial Stadium as well. Damian Banks and Jay Bell in the truck and everyone that makes these broadcasts possible. We'll get a couple weeks off, be back here on November the 2nd for homecoming against Livingstone. So until then, for everyone, I'm Corey Hodges. We'll say good afternoon on this Saturday from Durham. Shaw wins at 35-17 over Bluefield State. You've been watching it all on the CIAA Sports Network, the Shaw Bears Sports Network. So long.